Thanks so much for joining us tonight. This is a MeWe Awakening panel for energizing body, mind, heart, and soul. As you know, we have events throughout the Northwest and lots of events online. We have metaphysical and wellness fairs, and we have these awakening panels. And tonight is an awakening panel. There are 7 practitioners that are here tonight, all with different modalities. And we are focused on an energy forecast for the new year. So we will answer questions on anything, but in particular, we'll share about the energy of 2021 and what that means for everyone, for you. So it's free to be here and listen. We're excited to have you join us. I'll be posting information in the chat in just a moment about what we are up to. Lots of people are joining us. Let's see, let me get a little of this set up in the chat here before we get started, and then the practitioners will be introducing themselves. So it is, it's a small price. It's $20 to ask the question to get answers from all 7 of us. BIPOC is $10. The information for how to pay is in the chat. And if you'd like to ask a question, please do go ahead and get your birth information available. Your date, time, and place would be most helpful. Oh, practitioners too, I don't have your specials for most of you. So if there's a special that you'd like to offer, let me know, and I'll get that in the chat here in just a moment. Whoops. All right, I should be coming back there. All right. Yeah, so let me know what your special is and I'll get that in the listing. And okay, maybe practitioners will get started. More people keep joining us. This is exciting. It's a big new year. I know so many of us have been waiting for this transition, hoping that it means all kinds of energy transitions also. Let's see, so who wants to go ahead? And you can share around 3 minutes or so. And I know, Amanda, there's something extra that you might want to be sharing about your artwork. So go ahead and take your time for that when it's your turn. How do you pay per question? Let me just put that in the chat right now. Let me grab that. So you can pay on PayPal. We got the right link in here. PayPal or Venmo. Or if those don't work, I can run it on Square on my phone. So the information of how to pay is all right there. You should be able to just click that link and that works. And I'll be checking PayPal, and some of you may have signed up on Eventbrite. You can also pay on Eventbrite if you're, but yeah, PayPal and Venmo are the easiest things for us. Yeah, so go ahead. So who practitioners like to start sharing? You're welcome to jump in, and then you'll have a chance too, if like something comes up for you that you want to share as more practitioners are sharing, it's fine to jump in afterwards and share too. So just if you go first, you get another chance. Don't worry about that. Anyone want to go?
Not yet. Not yet.
Anyone want to leap in?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, I didn't realize I was still on mic. I'm sorry.
You're okay.
Y'all wouldn't have had to listen to me yell at myself. Okay, so take 2. Hi, I'm Susie Parker Goins with Blue Lightning Healing. I'm a channel, so I can bring your guides through. So you get more of a physical presence with them. So my voice will change, my physicality changes, but the energy is definitely their energy that comes through to talk to you. So you have somebody you can talk to face, ask those questions, get that perspective, tips, tricks, whatever you need. You're always going to come away with some sort of method, some sort of technique that you can use in your day-to-day life. Part of that is to remove blockages. So I look at that energetically. I look at your energy body so that we can talk about the blockages you have there, whether it's held emotion or trauma, even past life stuff, which segues so nicely into the fact that I love looking at past lives and helping you heal them and therefore release them. So if you have recurring themes in your life or patterns of behavior, we can look at those and we can get that information, have you integrate the wisdom from them and release the personality to other places. I have a website at bluelightninghealing.com. I also have a podcast on about 10 different platforms. That's Blue Lightning Healing Meditations, which uploads Thursdays and Mondays. And then what else? I have a Facebook page, and my special today is $50 for 30 minutes and $90 for 60. And so if you tell me you're making the appointment based on this, I'll apply those because pretty soon my prices are going to, I'm working towards getting my prices to be the pre-pandemic prices. So part of what the new year energy is to me is taking what we've learned from last year and how we can apply them. And we have all sorts of modalities here represented by these fabulous healers who can help us figure out, okay, so I learned how to do this. It's more than learning to bake bread or this and that. What are the emotional and spiritual lessons you used? And so this panel is an excellent opportunity for us to take what we did and apply it to 2021 so we can be stronger, so we can be smarter and better and certainly more compassionate to ourselves. I'm looking forward to talking to y'all. Thanks.
Thanks so much, Susie. All right, who else wants to jump in and share?
I can.
Okay, great. Let me spotlight your, okay, great.
Sure. Okay, I'm making a mess of it before I start painting all over something different. Okay. I'm so excited about today because everything's coming together before the event and not after, and that really makes my day. Anyway, I'm Amanda Root with Snow Moon Tarot, and I read magical rune wheels. So I'll draw out the runes in a circle, and then I draw around it and color it in and make it pretty. And then I will read that and use that as a place where we can find information about past lives, or we can find information about where our challenges and blocks have been and where the power is hiding. Sometimes you can find out like where there's trapped energy that you're not able to access. Like for instance, right here, I'm quite sure there's some trapped energy in here, although I'd have to go back and remember what that actually meant. But anyway,
I know, because I'm trying to clean the screen.
this is exciting. So for 2021, this was 2020. 2020 I saw as Nautis, which is the rune of limitation and restriction. And I saw that as transitioning into, for 2021, we're having Algaes, which is the rune of protection. It also is the rune of connecting with your higher self or your spirit guides. And in that moment, and also not just connecting with that energy, but also making something happen, making something happen on the earth plane. So putting into action things that we've learned from the lessons and the limitations. In this, we find the spark within ourselves. In this, we use the energy from that spark and grow it to put it into something that can actually happen in reality. And interestingly, I drew this a totally different day. This I drew for the New Year's fair. This I drew actually on Christmas Day. And today I realized that they go together. And if you look at this, the lines intersect with the circle. And if you look at how that happens, you can kind of see a Nautis. I don't know if people can see that, but it's right here. If you look at it from this perspective. And in this picture, and it's like similar colors. And then in this picture, we have algae at the bottom of the roots of the plant that's going to grow. And this has a lot to do with changing our perspective. Because if you take a look at this, if you look at it from a different angle, like if we're looking at this from above, they would look very similar. But looking at it from head on, and then they look different. So changing perspective based on what we see and using what we see to find how we want things to go differently and where we are. I don't know. I could go on and on. I should probably stop talking, but I'm Amanda Root and I'm at snowmoontarot.com.
Thanks so much, Amanda. All right, let's remove the spotlight. All right, get everyone back in here. Okay, cool. Who wants to go next? And practitioners, it's totally fine if you want to share about your work and share about the year separately, or if you want to mix it in all together. I'm great with however we do this. Who wants to go?
I'll go. Jamie.
Go ahead.
Okay. Hi, I am Jamie with Shift Witch Compassionate Coaching, and my coaching style is to help you love who you are right now in this moment. The new year is especially poignant in this kind of work because we hear so much about New Year's resolutions. There are so many ads and commercials and things that are trying to make us feel less than so that we buy their products and trust in what it is they're going to do to make us finally feel the way that we're supposed to. And what my goal is to help you feel good right now as you are without changing anything. Change should only come as a result of what you want for yourself from the inside, what your higher self wants. not from any outside influences. And so with my coaching, we work on how to dismantle all of that outside societal messaging and how to really go inside and find your true self and really allow that to be the thing that is always shining. I also teach belly dance and yoga classes that are both body positive. The entire goal, I'm not trying to turn you into a professional belly dancer. I just want you to come and have a great time moving your body. That's it. And it's just a really fun way to do so. And then with yoga, it's just all about being open and receptive and really allowing energy to move through you. So for this year, especially if you had a really rough last year, with most of us did, gift yourself just the gift of you, of truly being happy with you, yourself, and you right now and all the time, because there's nowhere to go but up after that. For tonight, I am offering a free intake session for my coaching. All you have to do is go to theshiftwitch.com and mention that you saw me here at this panel, and I will make sure that you get that intake session for free. I really look forward to speaking to all of you tonight, answering questions, and hopefully helping some of you on your self-love, self-acceptance journey. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Jamie. All right, who else wants to share? Practitioners? Who wants to go? Satora, go ahead. All right.
Hi, I'm Satora with Well of Love. I'm a channel and an energy healer and an artist. And I love to have fun and play. And yeah, in our sessions, the goal is to help you come into alignment or realign with who you truly are, your divine essence, your true self, and your heart's desire. And the more in alignment you can be with that, the more your reality will unfold and adjust to that. And more important, your experience of your reality changes. And there is much more joy and enjoyment and just the feeling of being yourself more. And one of the modalities I use is also called is the Terra approach, which the main component is Jinjin Terra, which is an ancient healing art where you touch certain places on the body in certain sequences that helps harmonize the energy flows in the body based on the meridians and the 5 elements. And this part has a great self-care component, so I can give you things you can do for yourself if you choose so every day. That is completely non-invasive, and you can do it with it as much as you want. It can never harm you. It can only help you. So I want to talk about the new year for a little bit. My feeling is what I'm getting is this is a year of big change. And of course, we're transitioning into it from this year, 2020. And there's going to be a transition period. And as change goes, it goes step by step by step by step in little steps. And it all starts with loving yourself first. And setting intentions is a great thing coming from self-love. It's like, ask yourself, what would serve me now? What makes me feel good? What is my heart's desire? Not how should I be or trying to improve yourself. You don't need improvement in that sense of trying to make yourself into some kind of ideal. It's all about allowing who you really are, because in our core we are divine and we are just here to explore and to play. or to express and create. And the beginning of that is to love yourself, is be kind to yourself, take care of yourself, and get in that flow. And know that the divine God, source, universe, however you want to call it, is always there and always loves you. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with you. And from that, you can always access that, even if you don't feel it, it's always there. That love is always there for you. And you can ask for it all day long, and eventually you'll feel it. So I think I got off track there. Anyways, that's the main thing for me is loving yourself and allowing yourself to be who you are and caring for yourself first, and everything else will flow from there. Alrighty, done.
Thanks so much, Satora. All right, great practitioners. Who else wants to go? I think there's still a few of us. Yeah, go ahead, Sandra.
Okay. My name is Sandra Jeffs, and I have over, the span of many decades done many different modalities. About 6 or 7 years ago, I started combining the modalities of astrology, both Chinese astrology, Western astrology, numerology, and my own channeling, as well as some of my mentors who are psychics and channelers. And last year for 2020, what I came up with from the compilation of all of this was that it was going to be a year of correction, where you'd have many opportunities to correct what it wasn't in your highest and best interest, and also of surrender. And it's surrender in the sense of the serenity prayer of accepting what you cannot change, having the courage to change what you can change, and the wisdom to know the difference. It was also a year to uncover deep seated secrets, to uncover and reveal whether it's faults in ourselves or skills or talents in ourselves that we learn about or in other people. And it certainly was that kind of a year. This year, what came up over and over and over is that those who did not really learn those lessons, did not learn the lesson of surrendering, did not learn the lesson of self-correction, are going to have a hard time this coming year, especially the first half, which has a lot of astrological things going on that will make that difficult. This year we have Saturn in Aquarius all year long. So this year is to continue with the surrendering and acceptance and the self-correction. But it's going to be a year of hard work and self-determination and responsibility. Because we've got Saturn in Aquarius, it's going to be responsibility, but, in Aquarius is changes, sudden and abrupt changes, things changing. And so flexibility and acceptance and creativity to find different ways to do things are really going to bring you good results the more you can do that. So taking risks and chances, but doing so responsibly. With love, if you're interested in love or you're looking for a better relationship, it's all about getting more creative. So it's really about embracing change, being flexible and adaptable, and being curious. Why is this happening? What does this have to do with me? Knowing the difference between freedom and escape. Because we can go to excess and just escape from this horrible year that we've just all gone through and go, I don't care about anything anymore. I'm going to do whatever I want. That escapism will be a big problem. So yes, learn about freedom and what does freedom really look like? What is the truth of freedom? And then go from there. I am offering on next Thursday, the 7th at 6 o'clock, a free or up to $15 donation if you want to, an 80-minute session of a journey going in to discover what your intention is for the year, and then setting it with the Soma breathwork session. And I'll put the details in the chat room. And I'd also like to invite everybody to come to a Soma Breath Fest that's on Facebook Live tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock Pacific time and Monday. So that's me. My website is sandrajeffs.com. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Sandra. By the way, if you want to put any of that information in the chat for me, I'll add it into your special as well.
Okay.
Great. All right. Let's see. So, Amanda, have you shared yet? I think you already shared. Okay. This round, I so do not remember. I want to see what you're drawing. Maybe you did in the beginning. You all help me remember. Amanda, you really did share already in this beginning part?
I did,
I don't remember.
but you want to see it? I'll put it up, but I don't need to talk about it again. This one?
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I remember when you shared. Okay, let me spotlight it. No, I want to see the other thing that you're doing.
Oh, yeah. See, it just keeps going and going. It looks like it has to do with our ancestors. So the now tease from last year is connected to ancestors and family pain and like dealing with that kind of situation. And yeah, it's just growing from here.
Wow. All right, cool. Thanks for giving me tidbits. Got to see. There's so much going on. All right. So practitioners, did all of you share? Oh, Kara hasn't shared yet. All right, great.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kara James. I'm an intuitive astrologer in Portland, Oregon. And I've been studying astrology for probably 14 or so years, practicing for 4, and happy to be here with you tonight. In addition to astrology, I also am trained clairvoyant. I'm trained in feng shui and energy healing and lots of different things. So I bring a lot of tools and weave a lot of tools together to not only figure out some of what's going on, where some of the pain points or blockages may be in life, but bring in some other tools to help nudge those along and create more ease and flow, sometimes even in the physical body, the energetic body, and of course the spiritual. I've had, like a lot of us, most healers especially, have had a lot of difficulty in life, a lot of challenges and things that have made us really go through those dark nights of the soul. And so I bring a lot of personal experience to my work. And I really see those difficulties, which has sprung up especially for a lot of people in the last year, as our best teachers, our greatest opportunities to learn more about ourselves when we're pushed against the wall, so to speak. And so, this last year has been especially tough for a lot of folks, but it's also given us that opportunity to get to know ourselves even better. And, we were talking about, some people have talked tonight about limitation. We're actually able to be incredibly creative in limitation. I went to school for graphic design long ago, and it was those assignments where we were told you can't use all the colors, you got to use one, or, you can't do this, you got to do that. And we went, oh man, they're stifling our creativity. But in fact, it was actually giving us a framework that we had to work within that made us get even more creative. So this last year has been one of those. And moving forward, it sounds like I just talked for a minute about the year since I think most people have done it in their intros. We've got some more creative tension to work with this year for sure. And the big energy is happening between the signs of Aquarius and Taurus. We're actually in the final quarter of a cycle that started in 1988. We won't go into all of that, it'll take a little bit too long. But these are both fixed signs, and fixed signs in astrology are signs that can really hold their ground. They have a certain way of being in the world, a certain way of doing things, and it's usually pretty strong beliefs that each of them bring to the table. So we're having some challenge, some energy between these two signs in particular. Taurus is about right use of resources, connection to the land, and it's also very much about this is the plan. Especially the early part of Taurus, they really like to have a plan. And then we've got Aquarius energy, which is very different from the steady, true plan of the past, which Taurus values. Aquarius is like, we're going into the future. So there's this kind of tension between the way things have been done and the way things could be done. that's going to be at play. And especially if you know your chart, if you have any planets around 6 degrees, between 6 degrees and 11 degrees of, 13 degrees of Taurus, or any of the other fixed signs, you're kind of in the cosmic hot seat this year. So we can talk more about that if we get into any chart readings tonight. But this is the energy. It's what has the plan been and what is the plan going to be now? And Aquarius is really about being so radically, uniquely yourself. So pushing on that old plan is going to be really helpful in terms of whatever new in you is unfolding and wanting to come into being. So it's actually a really exciting time. And of course, the energy will shift or be very different for you depending on your chart and what's getting activated for you. But that's just a little tiny taste. And I should just, I guess, finish up and say, Kara James, again, Kara James Intuitive Astrology, and my website is karajames.com. Thank you.
And if you're going to ask a question tonight, be sure to get your birth information together. You can give it to Kara or me ahead of time in the chat, and she'll have your chart already when she answers your question. So she just needs your birth date, time, and place. Give her as much of that as you can, so you'll get the most thorough answer. She's amazing at how quick she comes up with stuff from that complex chart. All right, let's see. So I'll share a little bit about me too. So I'll also be sharing in the panel. My name is Lorelei Shamayo. I'm an intuitive eye reader, a body psychology coach, matchmaker. So I read your eyes, like eyes are a window to the soul. And I share some of your thrive types. These are archetypes that I use to describe your soul purpose, and then I can answer any specific questions that you have. So your question relates to your path. I can't specifically answer to this year so much, but I can say about your path in general, your purpose. I can talk about where you are in your lessons and what are the next steps in your lessons. And thank you so much for sharing about loving your last eye reading. And I can answer questions about your career path. If you tell me where you're working, describe some of it, I can talk about that. You can show me the website and I can look at photos of people you work with. You can show me LinkedIn links or show photos of people on Facebook. You can text me photos. If you have questions about relationship, I can't predict if you'll be in a relationship if you're single, but I can talk about who would be a great fit. You can show me photos of your exes and I'll talk about what's been a challenge with them and what to avoid. If you're in a relationship now, you can show me photos of that person and I can talk about the relationship that you're in and how to better meet each other or what the challenges are and what to do about that. And maybe it's time to look for other things too, like you're working so hard at something that seems like it's not heading in the direction that's really of service to both of you. Just all kinds of questions like that I can answer. What else? In terms of the year, it's just so interesting. Maybe I'll say, where I live, certainly my experience, it has been a weird year already. Like there's just been so many weird, strange things in the last 2 days. My partner and I, just weird stuff. Like just today, for example, there was this huge thud, like I'm sitting here upstairs and it sounded like a tree fell and I live in the middle of the trees, so it's always possible. Something fell downstairs in my house, but the whole house shook. I'm in a log cabin. So it's just strange, right? It doesn't do that for a long time and then boom, it falls today. Yeah, so just strange, unusual energy of various things. And we'll find out from all the other practitioners, like what do they see about the energy for this year? So all I need to see to do your reading is your face. You can either share that on video or you can text me photos. My number is 720-352-2434, and I'll put my number in the chat. So if you want to ask a question, you'll be all set with whatever photos you want to send me. Yeah, so sending them ahead of time before you ask is best, so you can pay attention to everyone else's answers. And I will put the information in the chat again about how you ask a question today. It's free to be here. It's $20 to ask a question. For BIPOC, it's $10. And then let's see. So we have 2 people in line with questions already. We have Dale and Denise. And Kara, do you have information on both of them already? And it looks like maybe someone else asked a question too. I see maybe Laurel is in line. I'll get that information in our notes in a moment. Yeah. So if anyone wants to ask a question, just let us know in the chat you want to ask, and then there are the several ways to pay. And if you're having any trouble, I can also take payment on my Square. So yeah, we just get you in line and get you all set for your question.
Hi, Lorelei. I do have those birth information or that birth data for those folks, but anyone else who may be asking a question, if you could send me your birth info now, because then it just takes me a while to get it all in the system and make sure I got your dates right and all that. So go ahead and send it over to me or to Lorelei and we'll get you in the system. Thank you.
Great. And here's one, Kara, I'm putting in right now. I'll got to double check and make sure we've got everything else for this person, but here you go. That person may be in line. We'll double check. All right, well, let's see. We can get started too with Dale, if you're ready, you signed up first. You're welcome to go first. Or if you don't want to go yet, we can see if Denise is ready.
Yeah, if Denise wants to go first, that's fine.
Great. Yeah. And that's okay, great. Yeah. And anyone's welcome to ask questions that have asked questions before. We don't prioritize for this type of event at this point. We're not so overwhelmed with requests for questions. So yeah, so you're welcome to get in line again, even if you've asked before. It's $20 to ask a question and $10 if you're BIPOC. All right, great. All right, so Denise, are you ready?
I'm ready. And do I need to show my face?
You don't have
will
to.
that help?
You don't have to. I mean, so I know certainly for me, it definitely helps. So if you're willing. Oh, by the way, let me say a couple things. Sorry, before you start. So this is being recorded. So all of this is going to be up online. So if someone signed up to ask a question and I can refund you if you don't want to do that. So Denise, if you want to show your face, it's just whether it goes online or not. And then when you ask a question, we may go deeper than you intend for us to go, or we may talk about topics that you don't want us talking about here. If we do anything like that, please just let us know, unmute and tell us, raise your hands, and the video's on, write in the chat and tell us stop, wait, turn direction, and we will honor that. We are so here to honor you. And then also we encourage all of you to learn from all that is asked and answered in the panel. It's a great opportunity also to practice opening to your intuition, because what comes through for you, we believe everyone's intuitive, so something might come through for you. It might correlate with something that we share also, and that's extra validation for you that other people are getting that message. You, of course, may have something come through for you that's novel, that's yours, that you uniquely are able to tap into, and doesn't mean it's not valid. And then if something does come through for you, please request that you keep attention up on the panel so that, just the focus is on us tonight as we're answering. And then you might want to write down what comes through for you though. And if you want to, when we finished answering that person's question, you can always chat them privately and ask if they want to hear what came through for you. And if they don't, please understand that they just may be full, like they've heard from 7 of us. And so just know it came through for you for some other reason. All right, great. Well, let's see. So Denise, it's up to you if you want to show us your face. I'll certainly be able to share more. You can also send me a photo as well. And then I've got a few questions in the chat that I will answer in just a moment. So Denise.
And how do I send you a photo?
Oh yeah, so you can send me a photo. I give you my cell phone number. That's probably a text is the best way. And I'm going to put my number right here in the chat for anyone that wants to send me photos.
Or can you and I are friends on Facebook? Is it easy for you to just go to my Facebook page?
Yeah. I can just go look at your Facebook if we're friends. I totally can go do that. All right, great. So so I'll go do that. What is your question?
Thank you so much. So a year ago in February, I signed up for a year-long program. It helps with there's dating and relationship coaches, and it helps you tap into your feminine essence and your heart, and kind of getting more in touch with your heart, and how to be with men in your heart. And it's a great program, but what happened after February, we all know. And then my father died, at the end of March. And so, preparing for a relationship was the last thing on my mind. And so I've been given an opportunity to resubscribe for another year. And so I paid a lot of money before, and I didn't really utilize the program because I was overwhelmed with a lot of grief and responsibilities and things like that. And now things are starting to lighten up for me. And I could just download the materials and do kind of like a self-study, or I can resubscribe, and then I'd be part of the Facebook group, and I could ask questions, and there's dating and relationship coaches, and if I'm starting to date or start a relationship, then that will be probably pretty useful. I'm just not sure if this is worth the money. If this is if this is going to be useful to me in the coming year for the amount of money I would be paying. That's the tricky part. So I'm trying to just get a sense if this is a really good program to continue with. And the main benefit really would be just the Facebook group, sharing my progress, and having that community, and then the dating coaches who answer questions, to kind of keep on track and make sure that, you know, we're coming at this from like a high, you know, the dating and relationship things from a high value place. So it can be really helpful. I just wonder if I could get this help from another place in a, that might be more efficient or more better or less expensive, or, you know, more. I'm curious about if this year, if there are going to be dating and relationship opportunities for me and where I'm at in my life with dealing with, you know, I had to move across the country to take care of my parents' estate. And I'm not sure where I'm going to be living. I'm just here dealing with things still. So yeah, I don't know if, I wonder if, you know, it's even possible to, you know, meet somebody out here in Arizona, which I think I'm going to eventually move back to the Pacific Northwest. And, you know, I don't know where I'm going to meet my person, but I wonder if, you know, basically this program looking into all this is going to be of service to me if I resubscribe, which I have to decide pretty soon.
And
Thank you.
did you talk to them about getting any kind of discount since you didn't use it much last year?
No, I didn't ask about that. It's already discounted, but I mean, I guess it didn't occur to me to do that. I thought like, well, that's my problem, but I don't know. um,
I just asking if you did. That's fine. I just didn't know.
I didn't. No, I didn't feel like I had that right in that sense, you know. I don't know. That's a valid question.
Great. Just checking in. Okay, great. Well, let's see. So we have had several other people sign up to ask questions. So I'm writing all that down right now. And so practitioners, if someone's ready, go ahead and you can jump in and start answering. And I know other people have sent in birthday info, so I'm grabbing all that. Who
So
wants to start with Denise?
When you started talking about it, what I heard was 60 to 90 days. And as you continued and said you had to decide fairly quickly, I asked again, and I heard that to get the value that you wish, it'll be 60 to 90 days. So, you know, I think it's your decision whether you want to take a chance or if you want to wait, you know, and do it later. I don't know. That's the main thing I heard for you.
You heard in 60 to 90 days is when I'll start getting more value out of it.
Right. The value won't come for another 60 days minimum, maybe 90 days.
Oh, okay. But there will be value at that point.
I didn't hear that necessarily, but with that program necessarily, let me just ask. It can, but it's going to be, there might be something else. I keep hearing there's something else that will come up that'll be more valuable and more beneficial for you.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, Denise, I am getting a definite hit that there are other avenues that you can explore without having to spend a chunk of money. There's a lot of, there's so much self-help information out there. I don't know, is there a book out there? Feels like there's a book you can get. And of course, nobody's giving me a title, but there are other avenues that won't require hundreds of dollars. This is the opportunity for you to explore your inner landscape and find those places that you appreciate about yourself. It's like doing a resume for yourself. What is it about you that you find particularly attractive? And I'm not thinking of it like, what would somebody else think you're attractive? What would somebody else think what aspect of you is attractive? But what do you like about yourself? And start working on those things. Um, find like when I was working on my body image, I became particularly enamored of my right ankle to start off. And that's what I had. I mean, that's all I had at that point. And then working your way up for it. So start to I encourage you to continue to work on the self-love, because as your self-love grows, it radiates, and then immediately, and then it grows into a beacon for someone else to be drawn to, whether you're in a course or a program or not.
And in this program is the value is like getting to ask dating and relationship questions in real time. Like as I'm in these situations, I can ask and have dating coaches helping me and other members of this group who are following this program. And you know, I wonder if there's enough value in that to pay for like the full year.
Are you actually going out on dates at this point? Because there's not going to be value if you're still stuck at home. You're in Arizona, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know what the restriction things are up here. I'm up in Washington, and I know that I'm better staying at home. I go out to shop once a week and I stay at home the rest of the time. So you're going to need to look at those requirements. Are you actually going to be in those situations where you need that, okay, what do I do now kind of information? Online dating is valid. I know people who have met their mates that way. And it feels like, you know, for the next 6 months, that's going to be what we're faced with until we can really get this all under control and can go out freely. But I
Mhm.
don't, but I can, I stand by, you know, working on your inner life so that you can move forward more confidently.
I mean, and this program is there for that as well. But
Okay.
you know, again, I'm just wondering if there's a, you know, value. Like, is this worth it? Is there a yes or a no kind of thing happening with this program?
See, I'm getting, I'm getting not really, not right
Um,
now. I'm walking along with Sandra Jeffs over there saying 60 to 90 days, not immediate benefit, but as you work, take this 60 to 90 days to do that interior work, you can find that benefit outside. Yeah,
yeah,
within 90 days. Yeah.
thank you.
Hmm.
Great, and practitioners, we are dancing with the raise hand feature having changed. So Jamie found it under reactions. So practitioners, if you want to raise hand, and it evidently raises your hand in two places now, in the participants panel, but it's a lighter color, so I have to pay attention in a new way, and then it shows it on your, maybe it always has on your face. So yeah, Jamie, you go ahead next, and thanks for figuring that out for us.
Yeah, you're welcome. I was a little confused on where the hand went. Hi, Denise.
Hi.
So, I had a quick question first. So, what did they do last year after everyone had to go into lockdown? Did they, because, you know, obviously people were not going to be dating at least in the same way. Did they just continue on with the program? Did they offer some other type of direction for you? What
People
did
were
they
date.
do?
People found ways to date. You know, there's ways to do it.
Okay. Um,
You just
and
continued.
then I actually lived in Arizona for 10 years, so I'm just curious what part of Arizona that you
Near
happen to be
Prescott,
in.
north of
Okay.
Prescott.
So, a lot quieter up there, yeah, than
Yes.
down in the valley. Much better
Yeah.
weather. Um, okay, so I know that the restrictions were a lot less there too than would have been in other places. So you've had probably more opportunities than most people to kind of be out and about a little bit at least. And at any rate, the first word I heard was trust. And um, what I'm getting from that is you just have to trust that if you find somebody or you meet somebody, your being will know, not a dating coach, not somebody else. You're the only person that's going to know, but you have to trust that you know. And there's not a, you can't throw money at it, you can't throw thought at it. It just happens when it's the right time and the right person and the right soul that you meet with. Um, so I would say, you know, the support you're looking for really should be just like your circle of friends who you talk to anyway, and not somebody you're paying loads of money to tell you you're doing a good job liking somebody else. Like you want to like yourself. Like that's the only thing you should worry about liking is yourself, and that you have to trust that in that love of yourself, when you find that other person, like, okay, a great quote I read the other day was, I found the love of my life and I could live without him. I just don't want to. And like, that's how you know it's the right person. I thought that was a fantastic way to put that. Is
Mhm.
you just want to find somebody that you're just happier with, not happy with, happier with. So when you have that happiness already, and then you trust when you meet somebody that those thoughts and feelings that slam into you when you meet them are there and they're true and they're real, that's how it happens. So my vote is no. I would say no. You don't need any of that. You are all you need. That's it. All you need is you.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks, Jamie. All right, Kara is next, and then Satora, and then Sandra.
Right. Hi, Denise. I'm switching over here to get into your chart. And when I look at your chart, I can see, wow, you're here for a relationship. Probably the earlier. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, the earlier part of your life may have been had more focus on adventure and kind of what you needed for you. But yeah, I can see that pathway of moving into relationship, and you have a kind of a tall order. I mean, we all do. There's so many things that we need in relationship, but you have these elements in your chart that show a need for intensity and depth of connection, but also a lot of freedom and independence. And those are things that you can combine, but they can take a little while to figure out. And then you also have a signature too that can make it take a little longer to find your love. So the good news, as I'm looking ahead, is I'm looking to your planet Venus. Your Venus is actually going to be receiving an eclipse around, let's see, when is this? Next November, which eclipses are incredibly powerful energies. They usher in significant amounts of change in our life. And this is an eclipse that in particular is going to bring about new opportunities, which is just a wonderful thing to see in looming ahead. And they activate within, well, sometimes even before the eclipse happens, you can kind of start to feel the energy. And then sometimes they can take a little longer, 3-6 months, even up to a year to kind of get the effect of that eclipse energy. But when I see that, I go, okay, there's a lot of things in store in terms of opportunity for finding relationship that feels really, really good. In terms of the community piece, you do need a community. I don't know if you need this community. I see that really important, and I see that highlighted right now, that being part of a community right now would be really wonderful for you. But I don't know if this dating community is one of them. To me, the energy is more around, right now, the energy in your chart is around healing. Healing some of those old wounds, maybe healing some self-confidence bits and pieces. And so I don't know the exact orientation of the coaching, but if there's a lot of that, like, going back into childhood and kind of stirring up some of those things, or, early adulthood, and kind of digging into wounds and finding strategies for healing that and working with that to prepare the way for a new relationship, that would make a lot of sense to me. But if it's more practical tips and things, I don't know that you need that. I think it's more, a matter of timing.
It's the first one. Yeah, they do. They help with that. They help dig up wounds and stuff.
Yeah. Well, then it looks like it could be a really good program for you. And the whole childhood wound stuff is you're in the hot seat for that this year. It's going to be, the cosmos is going to really amp up and say, it's time to deal with whatever that thing is, if you know what it is. And if you don't know what it is, you'll probably figure out more of what it is and get to the bottom of it this year, because there's a lot of energy there. And you're also just in a time of life where one of the things that's frustrating and hard is you need a lot of space and freedom, and here we are on lockdown. So there's just a lot going on in your chart this year, but ultimately I see some really good energies coming your way in terms of this exciting eclipse.
I'm familiar enough with astrology, like I've studied it for 20 years, not like professionally, but you can tell me things and I'll understand, like, when is that eclipse happening? And I also know Pluto's going to be trining my Venus.
You've got the eclipse is happening November 19th. It's at 27 degrees of Taurus. And it is a lunar eclipse, so there is a sense of change and ending, but it's also a North Node lunar eclipse. So it also brings new beginnings with it in that whole package. So that's happening November 19th, and your Venus rules your 7th house of partnership. So it activates partnership in multiple ways because it's hitting the partnership planet, and it's also activating your relationship zone of the chart as well.
Wow. So you see a lot of stuff like needing to get dug up from childhood. Because yeah, I'm at my parents' house going through all their things. So that's
Yeah.
happening.
Exactly. It's kind of like preparing. It seems like this year is kind of getting ready and preparing the way and digging up all that old stuff so that you're ready to start something fresh and new.
Yes. Yes. Great. Anything else about, I don't know. I didn't, I thought I had a question, but yeah, you could tell me dates and things, if anything else that you saw.
Well, just when I mentioned the cosmic hot seat, some of the dates for that, just to be aware of, if you notice energies being higher, and this is for everybody, you might not have a planet there, but some of the dates that are going to amp up things a bit are January 17th, February 17th, June 14th. Oh, actually, they're just those first two are going to be the biggest ones for you. So, so just know there's going to be a little extra tension there around those old stories at those times.
I remembered my question. What was the thing in my chart you said that, I think you said it, there was something special in my chart about like making it take longer for me to find a relationship?
Yeah, I'm looking at your Saturn,
Oh,
and you know, Saturn in the placement that you have can take a little bit longer, right? There's a lot of lessons that come through the position that you have of Saturn in terms of relationship. I know it well. I know it personally. So so yeah, it can bring a lot of challenges along the way, but you are in the process of, you know, figuring out how important passion is to you with these placements. So it's like there's good energy there for you on the other side once you work through some of the hardship.
thank you.
Welcome.
Great, great. I know we've got other practitioners in line. Let's see. So we've got Satora, Sandra, and then Amanda. And great. And by the way, the hand raising is only for the practitioners that are answering in the panel, everyone, just so that you know. If you have a question about how things are working, please chat with me. And if you, in the messenger panel, the chat panel, and if I can't answer your question that way, if you can't chat, then totally break in and we want to help you. But chat as best you can. All right, great. Satora.
Hi, Denise. Yeah, I think that you know in yourself if this is in alignment and serves you, this program. And if you're interested, I can just tell you a process how you can find that out from yourself. How if that is in your highest alignment right now to do this program again. Are you interested in that?
Yes.
Okay, so when you're in a good space, in a good feeling space, like people would call it grounded or centered, and whatever gets you there, it could be just sitting down and taking a few breaths and connecting with the earth, connecting with your body. So when you're in a relaxed state and feel connected with yourself, so there is a way to kind of, it's like a pendulum, except you do it within yourself, and there's a way to calibrate that. So you start out with a question that you know is true, and the answer is yes, like my name is Denise, and you just feel into your body what the response is. Usually it's a positive response, a positive feeling of some kind. And then, you know, take a few breaths, clear that, and then tell yourself a lie, like, you know, I was born in somewhere you weren't born. It's just a very simple thing, and see the feel the reaction, observe the reaction in yourself. And these, with questions like that, you can learn your response of what is true and what is not true. And then once you get that, you can just ask yourself, the way I put the question is is it in my highest alignment and serves me best to renew this program and do it for another year? And then you will get a clear response. From, if you have a positive response, it's great. And if you have the no response, then it's probably not the best thing for you.
Yes, it feels like when I feel, I guess I'm struggling with this because that's a great tool. Thank you. I guess I feel like there's some benefit. It's not a clear yes or no. It's kind of like a maybe.
Okay, that sounds like you're weighing pros and cons in your head, right?
Oh, maybe I am.
and underneath that, there is something in you that knows that you feel, just the idea of doing that. Is it exciting for you? Does it give you energy? Do you feel enthusiasm about it? Or is it like, oh, I don't know. It's just important to find yourself in a space where you're not quite totally in your head, where you can connect with your whole body and everything. And everybody has their own ways of getting there. I don't know, it could be dancing or go out for a walk or yeah, whatever it is, meditation, whatever it is for you. If you have a regular practice and do meditation, to ask that question after the meditation or before the meditation, that would help too. Or sometimes what I do is I go to bed and ask that question and I want an answer. And then maybe the next day you can do the process and it will be clearer for you.
Yes. Thank you so much. That's really helpful and empowering.
Oh, great. You're welcome. Thank you.
Great. All right. We've got Sandra in line and then Amanda.
Yeah, I'll be quick, Denise. I just wanted to add that over and over and over in Chinese astrology, Western astrology, numerology, numerous psychics with relationship, what kept coming up is this year, you've got to be creative. And so my question would be for you to ask yourself, am I being creative enough, or am I doing the tried and true things that worked in 2019 and 18 and 17? And as far as the program goes, are they going to be creative enough? They may change some things, but are they going to be creative enough to deal with this new world that we're stepping into? We just had cataclysm happen. So much change in 2020, and there's more coming. So we've got to stay on that creative edge to really make a difference. So that would be my addition to, what I said is, are they creative enough to really give you what you need, that the value that you need?
Wow, that's a great insight. Thank you.
All right, great. Thanks. We've got Amanda next. And so Amanda, I can spotlight your screen.
Okay. Ready? Wait, I can talk now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Denise, this is you. The main thing that I see, and I'm going to try not to repeat things people said, would be I saw a wound over Ansu's, and Ansu's is the wound of Odin. It has to do with learning and teaching and inspiration and also voice. So I definitely think because of this, you might not trust your communication skills, but just because you don't trust them doesn't mean that they're not okay, if that makes sense. So that being said, the second thing that I thought was like notable was that you have a lot of growth coming out of the rune of enlightenment and awakening. And you have a lot of purple coming from family up to joy. So I feel like there's a lot of like you're going through your stuff at your parents' house is going to actually release a lot of energy for you, that even though it's hard, obviously really impossible, it's also going to release energy that you didn't have before. So that you will be able to use for growth in the enlightenment area. And also, I had the thought, wait, it's got to come back. Hold on. Oh, wait. I hate when that happens. Okay, wait. going through your parent stuff, the growth here. And, oh, I know. What I was thinking was, I know that you thought this program was a really great idea last year, but you are in such a different place now. So don't assume it will still be what you need, because I feel like now you're just going to have so much new energy available to you that you might not need it, or you might need something totally different. Maybe just take a minute. And if you don't have a minute now, like me, I mean, you can, the program's not going to go away, right? You can do it like another year, right? Possibly.
Yeah, the price goes up. It's the price thing. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you'll have to figure that out. But it just seems like, okay, don't let the fact that it's going to go up in price make you be nervous about, I have to do it now or never, because you want to do things when it's in the right timing for you, right? So maybe in a year from now, you won't need it at all. I don't know.
Oh,
You know?
yeah.
Okay.
All right, great.
Wow. So you're seeing a lot of changes happening.
I see a
Love
lot
energy.
of released energy from the experience that you've been through. And I feel like that's going to just really affect all of you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, great. And I've got a little bit to share
Thank you.
too. So I pulled up your photos in Facebook, so I've got them. So I know who you are, yeah. And so you're, so everybody, there are a whole bunch of different archetypes that I use for describing people. So Denise has everyone has 3 talents, and the 3 that I see in Denise, and I'm working on renaming them. So, and I'm not saying this is your order, because there are a few different orders. We may have talked about it a little before. You've got scholar, knowledge, priest, priestess, vision, and server, which is about love. And I'm not certain which is first. It feels like either scholar or server. I keep wanting to go with scholar, but then you might be like feel first. You've got a bunch of other traits that are really gentle. And so I have no idea who the people are that you've dated before. So typically what I do for matchmaking is I'll look at photos of your parents and your exes, and I can get a sense of who you've dated and what the patterns have been. I think it's great to date people that are similar. So you have 2 traits that are about feelings and emotions. It's a fairly soft flavor. So whoever you date needs to have enough of that softness. And my guess is that you probably haven't chosen that in the past. You've either, I just wonder, have you dated other people that were really strong and didn't really see you? And didn't see the softness in you?
Perhaps. I haven't dated a whole lot.
That's great. And by the way, so it was interesting for me too, since I'm a matchmaker, to hear about what you really get, the value in being in a community like that. So just so you can compare things. So my special for this is $90 an hour. So that's $1.50 a minute. So if you want, for example, like you can buy an hour and I can look at a whole bunch of photos really quickly in like a minute or 2. I have a lot of people that text me photos of people that they're interested in. So it's not a community of having conversation with other people, you know, something like that could get created. But I definitely can work with you over time, over the year. So you can think about that in terms of what this costs and what value you get in sharing things with me. The things I typically share with you would be looking at your online dating profile and helping you tune your profile and your photos. And then we pick people that are great for you on online dating. So you can avoid a bunch of the people that might be problems. So you have fewer questions to ask. And yeah, anyway, how to write to them and all this stuff. I just think it's really important that you date someone that also has a really strong heart in some way, and just really meet you in that. It just, yeah, that's super important. And you can meet, if you really think you're going to move back to the Pacific Northwest this year, you can always work on meeting people now online and build connections where you'll be able to meet them in person later. A lot of people aren't meeting in person for a while here. They have to have a deeper relationship before they'll meet up in person for the risk. And I know tons of people who have also been dating and meeting with people carefully in person in the beginning, you know, outside, going for walks and things like that. So, I mean, you know how much this costs in terms of what you can afford, and just giving you an example of other things that I, you know, that might be available to you. I mean, you could just choose to come to panels all year and ask questions about dating endlessly and get this community support here, you know, so there's just lots of ways of doing this. Yeah, so that's just some of what's here for me. I guess also, you know, if it would support you right now, just with all of what you're doing in Arizona, where you might not know as many people or you don't feel as connected, because if you grew up there, but you don't feel connected and don't want to in some ways, being online and just screening people really carefully could be a way that supports you too, through all that you're doing, going through all your parents' house and all that stuff. So yeah, those are just some of the things that I see. Do you have any other really quick question I can answer?
Oh, for you, no, I just want to thank you, because I like the other panelists said, get creative, and you just did that. Like, you just came up with some creative things, which I really appreciate. Like, oh, it just kind of opened my mind to like, yeah, I guess I just feel attached to this community, because they were, I had them, I guess, when my dad died, and the pandemic, it was just, they were there, and part of me is afraid to let them go.
So I would go back and I would talk to them and make sure they know about what happened to you this year, and ask if you could have 3 months this year for free, with the option of buying the rest of the year if you want to after that. And that way you'll have 3 months of support for them potentially from your purchase price from last year, and you decide if you want to go forward. Just see what you can get that could be just something right now, so you could really experiment with the community and see how it supports you.
Thank you. That's wonderful. That's another creative solution, which I really appreciate.
Yeah,
Thank
and you're right,
so
you
much.
can play different things. Yeah, explore different ways.
That's
all right, great. Thanks so much
Thank
for
you.
getting us started with your question. And I see, yeah, there are a bunch of different comments in the chat, which I will get to in just a moment. All right, well, let's see. So Dale, if you're ready, you can be next. And then we've got several people in line.
Okay, super. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, first of all, I love hearing from the practitioners. Let me just hold on 1 second. That one. Okay, I'm leaving that one. Okay. All right. So hello, practitioners. I just want to say I love hearing from you. I love hearing your different perspectives. I don't have a huge burning question. I'm just looking to get some insights about 2021, 2020 lockdown. Yikes. It's getting a little weary for me. I live alone and I'm single. I was just getting on the dating scene when COVID hit. So I'm just a little lost here. I think I've been doing a really great job of self-care, keeping myself entertained. I've been doing a lot of reading and crafts and just, keeping my home and just doing all the things to keep myself together. But we still have a few more months to go. And I'm just trying to figure out where, if there's any blind spots of where I could be looking to enrich my life in lockdown. Help.
All right, great. So opportunities to enrich your life. It's kind of like what to do with the, and you also, you're speaking specifically about dating at the same time too. So you're wanting support in general, how to enrich your life, and then also in relationship.
Yikes. I can't hear.
You can't hear. Can others hear me?
Oh, I know what's happening. Hold on.
Okay, great.
Hold on. Sorry, guys. Hold on 1 second. 1 second.
Yeah, that's all right. Take your time.
Get out of here. Oh, here it is. Okay, exit full screen. Okay.
Yeah, Dale, just let us know when you're set up.
Okay, I got volume now. Sorry, you guys.
Okay, great. No, that's okay. All right, great. I'm just confirming. So you wanted to know, I don't remember how you phrase it, but just how to support you to have your life be more like engaged and alive right now, given the days. And then you also were sort of saying about relationship, like you just started getting back out.
Well, before COVID, I was beginning to really get, and I've dropped off the dating sites and I haven't given any attention to it at all. I am very keen on being in a relationship, but I'm done looking. I just feel like the best thing I can do right now is to focus inwardly to who I am and what my heart's desires are, and hope that the universe will bless me with a relationship. But I've for 3 or 4 years, I was on the dating sites and it was, it didn't work. It didn't go so well for me.
Yeah.
So, that's, I would love, I would love to any insights about if there is any relation, where things are on the relationship, if I should just leave it on the back burner or if I should give it more attention. And just, what can I do to enrich my life with the current situations? Thank you.
Okay, great. Thanks, Dale. All right, who wants to go share about Dale first? Share with Dale first. See who wants to jump in. Oh, Sandra, go ahead.
I'm a feng shui master. I've been practicing feng shui for 25 years. The three main issues that come up with people when I do a consult is relationship, health, or money, finances. And when I work with people with relationship, I have a whole chart that I deal with, which comes from the place of what Satoru was saying, is that you're more likely to get the person that you want, attract the person that you want, by really completely knowing who you are inside. So making a list of your top 5 or top 10 key core values in life.
Okay.
And then really journal or do whatever you need to really ask yourself those hard questions. Do I, number one, embody those 100%, or where am I at on that scale? And if you're lower than 90%, how can you improve that and bring that up? The more you can have those, especially the top 5, really firm inside you. Number one, you'll be happy with or without a relationship. Number 2, you're more likely to attract a relationship, and that's a love relationship or friendships or support from community, whoever it is, because you are radiating 95% or 100% at those on those values. So that's a kind of self-awareness and self-grounding and self-actualization that will bring you rewards beyond your wildest dreams. So it just takes a little while. I always say 30 days of every day. Once you've got your list of 5, what can I do every day to improve those and get as high grounded and embodied in those 5 key core values? Honesty, truth, whatever your key core values are, partnership, relationship, anything. And so the other thing is that the color for this year is white. And white is the color in feng shui of metal, the feng shui that I practice of metal. And that's creativity. So like I said earlier, it's really getting creative. And if you have a white, something in white that you particularly like, when you put it on with the intention of getting creative with your life and really having fun and joy with it. Or go out and buy a piece of clothing, something that you, an item for your home that's white that you can see every day. And if it's white, if it's a piece of metal, that's white, or a necklace that's white gold, whatever, and buy it with the intention of, this is going to be my year to get really creative with what I want in my life and to fully step into my power, fully step into the intention for my highest and best life. Intention, and having that intention and doing that every single day is magical. That's what manifests at a level that is really magical. So the first thing that came to me was, oh, she needs to do self-expression and self-exploration. And then you said that's what you wanted to do. So good luck. It's
Thank
exciting
you.
to be in this kind of a place where you have the time
Yeah.
to do this self-reflection.
Yes. Yeah. When you say white, is that pure white or can it be an off-white or?
It can be any shade of white as long
White.
as it's not gray going into
Okay.
grays.
It's like just an off-white would be okay.
Yeah, even off-white, blue,
Like
white,
the color you're wearing, is that white or?
yeah, it's white.
White. Yeah, I tend to wear more off-whites.
That's fine. That's
Okay.
fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Good luck.
All right, I'll wear my off-white with intention. Thank you.
All right, great, thanks. All right.
Thank you, Sandra.
Susie and Amanda are online next. By the way, raising hands Everyone is just for those on the panel that are answering so we can track who's ready. Go ahead, Susie.
Okay. Hey, Dale.
Hi, Susie.
I like so much of what Sandra said. It even prompted me to draw some cards. And the first card I drew was grounding, which Sandra mentioned. And do you understand the concept of grounding?
Yeah.
Okay. So as you ground, and also her other keyword was intention. Whatever you do, set the intention. You know,
Okay.
go to bed at night saying, I'm setting the intention that I'm going to whatever, dream about a past life or explore possibilities out there. And then when you wake up in the morning, you set the intention to do those things, to energize the things you are doing even by yourself that help to illuminate yourself from the outside, from the inside. The next card, I was only going to do a 3-card pull. So of course 5 popped out. And so the next section was perspective and fire. This is an opportunity for you to see that bigger perspective, the grand scale, the grand scheme of things that we're all going through. This is how it affects you. But it's also going to be allowing you to find whatever it is you do that ignites your passion.
Mhm.
And a passionate person is one who draws people to them because of their enthusiasm, because of their joie de vivre, their zeal, their joy. Okay, so working on those things that really do, because you're going to be so busy finding those things that you enjoy doing that people won't have any other choice but to be drawn to you. I mean, it
Mhm.
happens when I'm out there doing my crochet. Oh, so what are you doing? And then I get to start talking about the goofy things I like to do. And then in the third spot, I drew innocence, synergy, and shape shifting. Innocence in that you are approaching life with that wonder about it of, wow, this is all so cool. Oh, wait, here's a person who's walking up to me. You look interesting. Can I ask you about your life? And so as you are developing that fascination, that passion for your life, you're going to be able to draw other people in by asking about them. I feel that the next one, synergy, it's also the green man card. It's going to be someone who is very involved with connecting with everything in such a way that they also see that grand scale of thing, that universal view. And that's going to allow you to morph and shape, and you two will work in that, it's the yin yang image of the 2 fish swirling around, and that's going to be the kind of person you'll be looking for. But at this point, yeah, we've got those physical constraints, so I encourage you to find those things that get you excited, get you worked up, so that you, oh gee, I guess I have to research this. Oh, aren't you a nice person to help me? And it's
Mhm.
going to draw that way. So finding that joy, that's the magnet for your life. That's my recommendation. Those are the venues, whatever they are, that are going to ignite your passion that way.
Nice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Lovely. Thank you very
Great.
much.
All right, let's see. We've got Amanda next, then Jamie, and then Kara. So Amanda, go ahead.
Okay. Hi, Dale.
Hi, Amanda.
This is you. And when I look at this, I am like, you are extremely good at putting on like a happy, like you're like, I'm doing really good. I feel like you're doing really good, but I feel like you're having a hard time being home, right? Like it's like getting like you're really over it. Like
Mhm.
I mean, I feel like you're really over it actually. Yeah, like next level over it, which is, completely understandable. Okay. I'm seeing okay, wait, hold on. Where do I start? The first thing that popped into my head when you were saying I've been doing all this stuff at home, but now what do I do? It's I'm running out of ideas. Of course, in my head, I'm like, you should learn the runes because before you said you don't have time to, and now there's time. And then I let that go and I do the drawing, and then I looked at this again and I was like, wait, actually, that is pretty much what I would recommend. Not it doesn't have to be the runes, but I think it's really important for you to learn a spiritual tool that you can incorporate into your daily reality, whether that be using symbols or you could use numerology or runes, like something that's like symbolic, but you can apply it to your everyday reality so that you can see spirit in everyday things and not have such of a difference between the spirit world and the earth world. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Mhm.
And I think that I just think that would be like please do that.
Mhm.
Like, I really feel strongly about it. I think that you would be surprised at how it can really help you. I'm seeing there's a hook here. There's a red swirling hook, and it's going down, and it hits right between the second et and the third et. And it's really like you have a strong attachment that's making it hard for you to move from the second et into the third et of spirituality. So even though you know a lot about spirituality, I feel like you're having a hard time really like making it make your day better. If that makes sense. You know, it's like, I don't know. Does that make sense to you?
Mm-mm.
No. Okay.
I'm curious though.
Yeah, I'm trying to put the right word on it. I feel like there is there are still some things that you could resolve and that you could let go of and integrate. And I feel like learning a new language to help you do that would be good. Like, not a language that you know already, but like a new one.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Okay, great. Thanks, Amanda.
Thanks, Amanda.
Sure.
All right, so we've got Jamie and then Kara and practitioner. I just want to say, I know, just if you can speed as much as you can, we've got a whole bunch of people in line. Go ahead, Kara. No, yeah, Kara's next. No, Jamie and then Kara. Sorry, I'm being unclear. Jamie.
Hi, Dale. Mine is actually just going to be very quick. I pulled a card too. I was just like led to pull a card, and what came up was bravery, and exploring your inner wild places. And you said you've done obviously a lot of work in the last year and learned a lot of new things. But I think that like you need to learn something that really pushes you. So a lot of the things you spent time on are things you thought sounded fun or enjoyable. And I think so I'm kind of with Amanda on that one, like find something that really challenges you, that pushes you out of your comfort zone, and gift this time to yourself to learn that while we're waiting for hopefully not much longer.
Yeah.
So that's what I was seeing.
Nice. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Welcome.
Okay,
Great.
great. Kara.
Hi, Dale. How are
Hi,
you?
Kara.
Okay, let me get over back to your chart.
Am I in the hot seat?
No, not in too big a way, but I do think the energy is going to be the part that's, I wouldn't call it the hot seat necessarily, but there is some good creative energy that's kind of pushing on what's next. And a bunch of the planets are moving into that real creative part of your chart. So I love what everyone else was saying about kind of playing and exploring. And I know about your spiritual gifts and energetic gifts. So I love that suggestion for you too of digging into that more. And so, yeah, I mean, it's a lot of experimentation, play, opportunities, but also putting some structures around the things that some of your passions. So maybe if you've kind of dabbled in lots of different things, choosing something and saying, I'm going to stick with this, or I'm going to put a bit of more intention around it, or even a schedule around it, so that you can, like I was saying earlier, if you were here in the intro about even in those creative graphic design classes, having those structures and limits helped us be even more creative.
Right.
I see that energy really helping you a lot.
Yeah.
And also, I just think you need to get out and move. I know you probably are trying to do that. It's hard in this year, but I also just see, the little trips, the little hikes, finding adventures where you can. That's going to really bring a lot of positive energy your way.
Okay. Yeah, I get it. I definitely have that in mind. It's like, okay, I've got to get creative here and get some outings going one way or the other, regardless of what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
We did Monday, we went on an awesome hike at Cape Falcon Cove on the coast. It was a 3.5 mile hike in the forest. It was amazing. It totally stoked me. So yeah, thank you for saying that. I have to have that, I have to be engaging. I have to be out in the world.
Yeah.
And this being home is killing my soul and I've been very, very creative with it, and I'm doing, I'm doing a lot, but I'm running out. I'm running out of steam here. I got to do something different. So thank you. I really relate to that. Thanks for the validation on that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, and I love what I love what everybody said. That was perfect. Thank you so much.
Great, Satora.
Oh, Satora.
Hi, Dale.
Satora. Hi, Satora.
Hi.
Our fun person.
Just
Fun
really,
and play.
yeah, just really quick. First of all, this time right now is the best time to dream. The depth of winter, the darkest time of the year. So I want to invite you to dream big and wild without, yeah, just dream wild and just come up with stuff that is maybe out of the box or you might have considered impossible.
Okay.
I also want to encourage you to reach out to people, maybe do online things. Like there's so many online groups going on and stuff like that. I don't know if you do any of that.
I do a lot. I'm on Zoom a lot for work, and I'm
Okay.
so over. I mean, I know I do connect just like I have done here, but it's not the same as being in person. It's just not. And I'm just a big people person.
Yeah.
And I need humanity. I need to be, so other people are fine without humanity. I need humanity. I need to feel people, be with them, be in their presence, and, just that energy.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounded like the hike that you did with other people. So, I mean, you can go outside and,
yeah, I'm outside every day. I mean, I was just out in the pouring rain on a 2-mile hike up at Forest Park earlier today. I'm not one to sit home when the weather gets bad. I usually go out in it.
Yeah, and you can do socially distant walks with other people, if you're ready.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the other thing is, because this is gonna pass, to just put yourself into the experience of Dale after this is all over and we can connect. Just put yourself into that feeling.
Okay.
Imagine that and just connect with that person, because that person is there in the future. It's just a little bit longer to be there, but I did that when I was looking for a place to live and my situation was a little iffy.
Yeah.
To just connect with that person that's already there.
Yeah, got it.
And tap into that feeling.
That's awesome. I love that. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, great. Practitioners, anyone have anything else, or is it just a little bit for me? I think of where we are. Well, I can say, Dale, I love the idea of learning a new language. So we've talked for quite a while about creativity, and I know I just keep thinking about plants and just all kinds of creative expression. And it seems like it's a great opportunity to lean into some things that you might feel a little uncomfortable with and that you don't know as well, or finding new ways of expressing, some of the language that you already know. And also, since you go outside every day, I think it's great that you go outside every day. This might be a great opportunity to venture to some places outside that you don't normally go. So like drive out to the beach or something like that instead. So yeah, I don't know how much you're doing that, but yeah, just to kind of mix it up a bit.
Yeah, no, I just went to the beach on Monday. Yeah. It was like, yeah, but I haven't been out of my, this small circumference for way too long. So yeah, I gotta start doing that. So I appreciate the validation on that.
Great. Yeah. Sweet. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I'll share if I think of anything else. But yeah,
please do.
All right, great.
Thanks, Lorelei.
You're welcome, Dale.
Thanks for this opportunity tonight. I appreciate it.
No, you're so welcome. All right, let's see. So we've got a bunch of people in line. So practitioners, yeah, we got a Zoom. So Elba, you are next. And I know you sent me a photo. And let's see. So Elba, do you want to jump in and ask your question?
Yes.
All right.
I'm just looking for some recommendations for a direction for 2021.
All right, great. Sorry, I'm echoing everyone. Okay, practitioners, who's ready? Yeah. And practitioners, I might need to jump downstairs for a brief break for a moment. So if you all could jump in, who's ready to go? Is anyone ready? Oh, Jamie, go ahead.
I got you. Hey, Elba, it's so nice to see you again. So what I got right away was dreaming, and but in the context of like the things that the dreams that you've been collecting. So little things that you've sort of dreamt about, but just maybe put over here and put over here, and they're just all tucked away in different parts of your brain. And that this would be the year to start planting those, to start letting that stuff grow. Because what I saw was like, saplings, trees growing up, so that it's not necessarily all things that are going to come completely to fruition this year, but that this is going to be a great year to take those dreams and really allow that stuff the chance to start growing, and really you'll be able to give it more nurturing than you ever have been able to. And so you can put that energy into nurturing those. So I would start by thinking of, what are some things you have dreamt about doing, and it will jump out at you. Whatever there's going to be three things, whatever it is. And I feel like whatever those three things are, they're going to jump out at you. They're going to be very easy to recognize when you hit upon them. And just start nurturing those things, start feeding them, plant those seeds, let that little sapling grow up and start to just really grow into whatever it's going to be. And I think it's going to definitely change as this grows. But I'm just seeing that like now is the time to get those things started. Like this will be a good time to start them.
I want to keep going along with this, with what Jamie is saying, because this is the time of year all my gardening friends are going crazy about all the seed catalogs they're getting. So what they're doing is not only geeking out over different kinds of catalogs, but they're also making plans. This is a great time. Part of the growth process is planning. And I also want to draw in what Satora was talking about, was seeing your future self. Take some time, and yeah, I've got a podcast on that about seeing your future self. But take some time to actually think about where you want to be. You're asking for direction. Well, what's your destination? Where do you want to be? And so your future self or your ideal self is a great place to start. I do that. I'll read the end of the book first, the end of the mystery. Yeah. But so this is where the opportunity where you get to plan for your best self, you get to plan success and to be your best self, and then trust as you are doing the growing, and then as you trust, then things become easier. And you'll find that the more you trust divine to come in and help you at that right moment, because the spirit guides are coming through, they want to talk to you. You need to open up to hear them and trust. And yes, they want me to say trust, 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 but that's all part of your growth. And then as you set that ideal self as a goal, you can take those steps to go there. So there's your direction, but you choose it. You're making the calls. Okay. Thanks. That's what I got.
I'll jump in. I saw three, maybe four possibilities for directions, and you've thought of all of them. There is one that kind of scares you that you had rejected earlier in life and thought, oh, this is never going to happen to me. I can't do this. But it's still niggling somewhere in your brain and your heart. And so what I heard very clearly is, of the three or four things that have popped into your mind about, maybe I'll do this, maybe I'll do that, maybe I'll go in there, there's one of them that you kind of reject really quickly because it scares you. And when you're afraid, but not overly afraid, not overwhelmed by it. But it's passionate, even if you don't believe in yourself that you can do that. That's where that is the beauty. So what I heard is that explore that and see if your fear about it, or if your lack of self-confidence about it is what is blocking it, or if it really isn't. As Susie said, you're the only one who can tell if that's true. But does that make sense to you? Are there 3 or 4 things that you've thought of?
Yes, there definitely.
And is there one that scares you quite a bit? You go, oh, I can't do that. I'm not good enough to do that.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, explore that, because that's what I kept hearing is, oh, she needs to really decide if that's where she wants to go. Because I hear that you can if you really want to. I hear that that's a real strong possibility for you if you want, and it's letting go of the beliefs that you can't go there.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I'm back. I see we've got Kara in line.
Hi, Elba.
Hi.
To follow up on that, is that thing that you're thinking about, I don't know if you're willing to share, but it looks like you have tremendous healing gifts. And I when I look at your chart, I'm wondering, are you working as a healing practitioner of some kind already, or is that the thing that may be coming to fruition in the near future?
I'm not currently doing healing specifically. Well, you know, when you talk about healing, are you talking about hands healing or healing just by my presence? I mean, that affects people too. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, is it something that you, whatever your special blend of healing energy that you bring into the world, is it something that you monetize in any way, that you see clients for?
No.
And is that the thing that is that something you are interested in doing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's what I thought when I was looking at your chart. And that belief, and that's where the belief piece comes in. You have tremendous healing skills and abilities, tremendous. And that's where a lot of the energy, especially in the fall, summer, fall, and winter, are going to kind of be pushing on that belief of, do I have what it takes to use my healing skills in a bigger way than I have? And you absolutely do. And hang on, I got to go back to my chart so I can see it and you at the same time here. And it looks like you're kind of at the decision point right now. And maybe it's not just related to this, but it looks like there's a decision that is looming right now, like in the next week or so, that's kind of pushing on you. And so I think you kind of know what you need to do already, because it's already so set up. And it has to be change. It can't be going with the old. It has to be it's leaning into the discomfort. That much is clear to me as I'm looking at your chart.
Definitely.
And the other thing is, so this year, what did I say? This year is about understanding and expanding your work as a healer. And then next year, and when I say next year, it means starting at your birthday. So starting in June at your birthday, that year you have tremendous entrepreneurial energy to make this idea a reality. So I see this year going, okay, I have what it takes. And then next year, you're going to have a lot of planetary help to make it happen. Next year, starting at your birthday, is a career-focused year. You've got Mars ruling it. There's a lot of energy to make it happen. So I'm really excited for you.
Cool. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, great practitioners. Let's see. So I know I have a bit to share, and then who else has not gone? I don't know. Amanda, have you gone? Do you need me to share your camera?
Here, do you want me to do that now? Oh, not
Sorry.
me.
Not you.
Real quick.
Oh, Satora, go ahead. Yeah, Satora, go ahead.
Alba, I apologize. I had to go to the bathroom and I missed your question, but I would love to give you an answer, but I need to know the question.
He's looking for direction for 2021.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry, what was that?
Direction for 2021. Direction,
okay.
Oh, if Amanda's set, yeah, Amanda, you could go, and then we could, let's see, I'll share your screen. Okay.
Okay. Let's see. Here is you.
Okay.
Bottom. Can you see that okay?
Yes.
Okay. I feel like the angle's always weird. Okay, stop looking at it. All right. I think this is really
Amanda, why is your hand raised?
What?
Oh, sorry. I have the practitioners raise their hands so that I know who's ready to answer questions. And Amanda, we share Amanda's screen so that you can see what she's drawing, since that's part of her response. But go ahead, Amanda, go ahead.
Okay. So I was definitely thinking that what I was drawing was going along with what other people were saying. I see a lot of growth and potential in what's coming up for this year. But okay, so this plant right here, it's in the it's in the space that is where Othala is on the rune wheel, and that has to do with family, and it has to do with spiritual inheritance, which has to do with what you receive from your family line, and then what you in turn also leave as a legacy to the earth. And I see that is where that is your gift and your inner son in that rune of family and legacy. But the plant that I drew here, interestingly, there's this weird plant that pops up in my garden. And then I feel like I don't remember planting it. I don't think it's really a plant, but it's really cool looking. I'm not sure if it's a weed, but this is what, and it's going crazy. It's like taking over this whole area. I don't know where it came from. It's like, it's a gift from heaven. I have no idea because I didn't plant this thing. Anyway, this plant really reminds me of the plant that's turning up in my garden and kind of going crazy. So I feel like that reminds me of kind of like following your intuition and following a path that like you didn't necessarily like look for. It just kind of appeared to you, but it's not something that you were searching for. Do you know? It's like you didn't ask for that, and then all of a sudden look at this plant. And it's really cool. And you're like, wow, this is really awesome. I didn't know that was a thing. And you're turning that into being like this whole like, it's like you're seeing this gift and you didn't even expect to have it, you know? And then that's where all of your energy for your new path is going to come from. Cool. I thought that plant was really cool. I'm excited about that for you. And let's see. Another thing that I saw was a connection between that and Rido, because this looks similar. But you know what? I feel like the plants that are in this rune are plants that you more like planted on purpose. So Rido has to do with the journey and just things that happen in your life that you've chosen and that choices that you've made. It has to do with also like, it can also be obstacles though that pop up and hard things that happen on the journey. So I feel like definitely the answer for you is not in the area of your typical everyday life path like thing. This is more of an outside the box thing that just shown up out of nowhere and now it's turning into this phenomenon that you're going to make your next step. I also see this little pod-like plant thing down here between your second and third et. It's between the clarity rune and then the spiritual warrior rune. And this big purple pod thing, I feel like, now I'm going to say I don't really know what's in that pod, unfortunately. I wish I did. But I feel like you're going to find out what's in that pod. And it's definitely unknown to you. So there's something that you're going to learn, that you're going to get some information that you don't have yet, something that's completely new. And yeah, and that will change like how you go forward.
Cool. Thank you.
Sure.
I appreciate that.
Great. Satora.
Hi, Elba.
Hi.
Hi. So what I got that the first thing that came to my mind was self-discovery in a light way. And then I got the impression of there is little elemental beings, fairies, that want to connect with you. They want to play with you and help you. And they're all around it, all excited. They're very lighthearted and very fun-loving, and you can trust them. They're not mischievous. So if you're willing, they would love to connect with you, and you can just express your willingness and open and ask for signs. You could maybe ask for signs for them to show you that they're here. You can actually ask for very precise things like, if you're here, I want to see, I don't know, a bird in front of my window, and so you can think up signs that that can show you their presence and start communicating with them that way. And then maybe through drawing or whatever is your medium of choice, or if you can hear or see.
Okay.
And this will also help you to get more in contact with your inner child and unleash some of that playfulness and help you smoothen out your path, because they can help you with daily material things, because the elementals, they are close to the material realm, and they can help us with daily tasks like cleaning up something, finding a parking spot, helping you connect with people. When I used to caregive, I always said, well, you guys do everything, and whatever needs, take good care of them, and whatever needs to happen to me, let it happen to me. So, in a sense, not that you sit down and don't do anything anymore, but know that there is help and that they can smoothen your path, and then synchronicities happen, and things happen much smoother, so that you can just allow yourself to be more playful and let things happen easier. Okay.
I want that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great. Practitioners, anyone else have anything? Does anyone else not go? Okay, great. So Irma, I know, or not Irma, Elba, I know you sent me a photo again, right? And I've got all these other photos from before too. And I guess the big thing I want to share, so we talked a little before, you have warrior and scholar as two of your talents. So warrior is about efficiency, effectiveness, grounding, practicality, and scholar is about absorbing information to build knowledge and share knowledge. So I have those two talents also. So, and I'm not certain of your others. I was glancing back at your parents too. It could be, I think that you have something else that's more social as well. So it could be priest, priestess, it could be sage. I'm not certain. It could be priest, priestess for you. And which is about emotions. It's about seeing not only what's here, seeing what's possible, ready to inspire and motivate people to stretch and reach for what's possible. The big thing I want to get across is that by having warrior, scholar, and you might have warrior first and scholar second, it's a different type of healer often, right? So we're much more, all of a sudden a whole bunch of people are joining us. It's much more grounded and practical. Like I'm the one notice that runs all these events, right? So there are all these practitioners and I'm the one that runs them. So there's something about like holding the space for a foundation. You're not necessarily community energy the same as me, but it's it can have a physical presence, but you'd have a grounded presence for people even energetically just through just video and things like that. Excuse me. So I just encourage you to not expect that the way you're a practitioner looks the same as it does for some other people, just because your energy is very different. So yeah, just not expecting that it needs to look any particular way. And a scholar can get caught thinking they need to fully understand it before they jump in. So jumping in when you don't understand and learning while you're doing, great. Okay, it's cool. And warrior totally likes taking steps. So it just sounds like there's some way that you haven't let yourself take the steps. And so really looking at like what's in there and what's holding you back and like how you might feel scared, or there's just something that, yeah, it must be that there's some other change that needs to happen in your life, and there's some way that you're nervous about that other change, and that's the thing that's the bigger issue. Yeah, so I just, warriors are great at multitasking, so I would look to see how you can make the change without completely interrupting the other thing. Like, so how you can step this forward and still have this here, and, you know, that it doesn't have to be a sudden earthquake, you know? Yeah.
Okay, I appreciate that. And I can totally relate.
Great. It's great. You know,
Thank
so
you so much.
the way that I got started working for myself, really, the messages that were coming through were that I was getting irritated and frustrated with my colleague that I was working for in her business of like, I wanted her to do it differently. And finally, like, you know, so those messages were getting louder and louder. And I had this question like, why don't I just do it on my own? Like, I can't just like change all that stuff. And, you know, eventually it just got clear, like the things she was wanting me to do just weren't a good fit for me. So I needed to just go off on my own. And so I moved across country. Like I made it a whole big shift and it's been great. Like it doesn't have to happen that way. You know, and I was doing bits on the side all the time too. So anyway, there you go.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, great. Yeah, and I know Amanda's gonna, oh yeah, so Amanda's also making available that she can send email copies of your rune wheel if you did a reading tonight. And then also Amanda, I'm present that we have a couple practitioners, Satora and Amanda, that might be needing to leave either a little earlier, like right on time. And so we've got several people in line too. So Amanda, I don't know if you want to know who the people are and what their questions are first, and if you can draw them before you leave or like what you want to do. So if you have ideas, if you're on the, Amanda, if you're on the doc, some people have asked what their questions are, but I don't know, you might need to energetically connect with them. What would be good?
If can they introduce themselves to me?
Sure. So the people we have in line, let's see. So we're just gonna have everyone come on screen if they can, if they're willing.
Is there a lot of people you're testing me, so you're doing for my compartmentalization abilities and memory.
I know, that's why I'm like, so if you just a little, so Kimberly.
You know what? Is there anybody that can you ask them if they would really
want
sure. Reading that might work better because I don't know if I can actually do what you're asking.
I know. That's why I'm like, yeah. We've got Kimberly, Natalie, Irma, Laurel, Edith, and Martha. So if one of you, if you definitely really want something from Amanda, like your question has something to do with that, or our art is really important to you, please come unmute and come on screen so she can see you.
I would like.
And Martha. Okay, Martha.
And me, Kimberly.
Okay, Kimberly. Well, Kimberly's going to be next. So Kimberly's going to be easy. And then Martha currently is at the end of the line. So
I would like to take and have her.
That's great. And Edith too. So Amanda, how would you like to do this? Do you want me to take photos of them on the screen and text them to you so you have them right there? What do you want to feel from them? You're muted. Amanda, you're muted. Sorry, Amanda, could you unmute? You're muted.
Sorry. Yeah, text me. If you can text me their name and their face, and then yeah.
Okay, that's great. So I'm gonna have each of you just come back on screen for a moment. So Kimberly, Edith, and Martha. One of you just unmute and start chatting and you'll come right back. Oh, there's Natalie too. Okay, so yeah. Edith, are you saying, or Natalie, are you saying that that's really important? You wanna try to get Amanda in there also? You've got that artisan talent.
Yeah, she's the one that is doing the art for everybody.
Great. So we're going to do Kimberly, and then we're going to do, and Natalie's next in line too. So Amanda, you'll probably see both of them. But then so Edith and Martha, could you come back up on screen for us?
Hi.
Great, thanks, Martha, and then Edith. Edith, if you could start talking, you'll come back up.
I can see her in the corner.
Yep, there you go.
Okay.
Okay, you got
Thanks,
her.
Amanda.
Try to grab you. Okay, great. All right. Well, let's see. So we are on Kimberly next. So Kimberly, jump in and ask your question.
Hello, everybody. Let's see. Well, basically, my question is just looking ahead to 2021, any insight that you might have. I was saying that I was stuck, but I think I just need to get clarity on which way I want to go, what I want to do, and so any advice, clarity, I'm open to suggestions. I'd love to hear from any guides that I might have. I've been working on trying to listen to my guides, trying to hear them more. So that's it.
And it's great. And is it any particular area of your life, or really it's anything?
Kind of just anything, I want to eventually get into a relationship, but I'm not, I don't feel like that's kind of a secondary.
Okay.
Just kind of where's my life going now, what's next.
Great.
And lockdown's been tough, so be kind.
What did you say? Could you say that last little bit again? What did you just
I
say?
said lockdown's been tough, so be kind.
Okay, that's great.
No,
We'll do that.
I'm just kind of, I was doing okay, but now the last month I'm kind of, down a bit. So I'm trying to kind of pick myself up a little.
Okay, that's great. That's great.
Okay,
And
thank
I'll
you.
I'll put the list in the chat too of the people that are in line if anyone wants to particularly connect with Satora too. And I'll put all the practitioners' info in the chat again also. All right, great, Kimberly. Thank you so much. All right, practitioners, who wants to leap? Oh, Susie and Jamie are all set to go. Go ahead.
So Kimberly, Kuan Yin comes through for me, and if you will give me just a moment, I can have her talk to you directly. So if you have questions, please feel free.
Kuan Yin is compassion, correct?
Yes, yes, I am. I am compassion. So please be kind to yourself. This one also drew cards.
I knew you were going to say that. I'm hard on myself.
If I were any other guide, I would tell you to stop. Mother Mary would come through and tell you. She says she would give you what for. However, the cards she drew, I have some cards in front of me, and the first one is creation. You create your own reality. Take the time to shape it as you wish. Yes, this month has been hard. This is the month where so much energy came through. Solstices, eclipses, conjunctions, and all of you who are sensitive to it have felt it. So it is time to recover. Spend some time being kind to yourself, to recover, to allow yourself that opportunity to not stumble, but to feel relief. Not that the calendar year is over, but that you are able to assimilate and integrate the wisdom that comes through. You have tremendous wisdom within you. All of you do. And this is the time for it to step forward. You all ask for direction. You choose your direction. We provide you support for that. As it has been said many times this evening, look to your ideal self. What do you wish to manifest? It is basic life coaching. Set your goal,
yes,
then do the steps. Trust. Trust is a very big word for you this year, Kimberly, and for many of you tonight. Trust what you hear. Yes, your guides are very happy to talk to you, but you must trust what they say in order to have them feel heard.
Okay.
To say they are standing, well, many of them are standing behind you, myself included. We will talk to you in dream time. We will talk to you in patterns. You will not see many sun patterns in shadows, but look at the trees. Look to see at the leaves and allow that childlike imagination to come through. Do you have heat or fire in your home? Look at the flames. You are a flame reader, a fire reader. You are a fire tender. You help to keep others warm. You help to keep the passion ignited. This is an opportunity for you to practice on yourself. You are, let's see at these other cards she has. New beginnings. Yes, you understand this is an opportunity, and karma or DNA. You have that opportunity to shift your reality at the DNA level, at the molecular level. What do you want? You are the one who chooses your direction. We are signposts, we are guides, we are rest stops. You are in control. Blessings.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, we've got, see if Susie wants to say anything when she comes back. But all right, great. We've got Jamie, Satora, and Amanda.
Thank you, Susie.
Hi, Kimberly.
Hi.
So what caught my attention was you were talking about your shift in energy, and what I actually heard just as you were saying that was the ebb and flow. So it's about that rising and then that falling. And that is a natural part of the world, of life, the tides every single day, especially connected with the moon, pulling those tides and remembering that we too are made of that same water that gets pulled and pushed by the energy of the moon. And so the suggestion I have for you is take a look at how your energy moves based on the phases of the moon. And see if you can start tracking a correlation to that. And if you can, then you're going to know when you need a little more self-care for more support. You're going to know when you're feeling very energetic so you can get a lot done, and it won't feel like so much of a struggle, and because you will have that natural rhythm to then tap into and to know what's coming for you, so that you don't feel this giant overwhelm when the tide goes out again.
Okay.
So I hope that helps.
Yeah, thank you.
Great, Satora.
Hi, Kimberly. Yes, I want to chime into what Susie and Kuan Yin said. Very much so. You set your own direction. And what I want to add to that is that the time for sacrificial service is over, that it's all about you exploring what brings you joy, what would you like to do. It's about a joyful exploration. Where does your energy draw you? What gives you energy? What, when you think of something that you want, does it make your heart sing? Are you filled with enthusiasm? So going by that and taking care of yourself first, and make yourself the most important person, and your self-care. And the idea of, especially for us women, to put ourselves and our needs on the back burner and take care of everybody else first, or the idea that we came here to do a certain thing as a big service, no matter how bad it is for us, it is just expired. It is not energetically supported anymore. It is now for us the time to bloom, and that starts with self-care and self-love. And then are you interested in points on your body to hold? Because I got the impression that your kidneys could use some support, your kidney meridian.
Oh yeah. Actually, I have been doing the tapping, but you're right, I have kidney disease. So yes,
okay.
please
There you
tell
go.
me. That's perfect.
So the kidney points are, this is not tapping, it's just light touch. You put one hand on the coccyx, and then the other hand either on the right side or the left, or you can do both after each other. When you got your earlobe here, you take a line back to the neck, and on the neck you hold that point. It's not in the center of the neck, it's more on the outside. Oops. Like here on the muscle there.
Okay.
So hold that. And now this one has another point. Keep one hand on the coccyx, and then the other hand from the neck goes to the center of the chest, the sternum here.
Oh yeah, I do that one. I do that one for the thalamus.
Okay, so yeah, but the self-care for the kidney is all those 3 points.
Okay.
So you start out with the coccyx and the neck, and then go here.
Okay. Okay.
And also in terms of feeling better, I'm gonna if you're open for more, I give you more, because I got a whole, there is in the groin line here, you can hold those 2 points. It's not really a point, it's a whole area, the whole groin line, and that helps with depression. It's generally a healing point. And then the other one is on the chest. This one is called the mother. And it's on the chest between the 3rd and 4th rib, approximately. So approximately here.
Yeah.
And don't worry about not finding the points. Most of these points are more areas than they are points. So
Okay.
you can hold them as long as you want whenever you got your hands free.
Okay.
Yeah, can't do any harm. And of course the self-love point that is right here under the arm.
Mm-hmm.
Give yourself a hug.
Yes, the hugging. Yes.
Yeah, the hugging.
Okay.
It's a huggy, but having your hands on those points underneath.
Yeah, but you have your hands on the point. So
Yeah.
it's here at the edge of the underarm here.
Yeah.
Okay. All righty. That's it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great, thanks, Satora. All right, Amanda is next. I will spotlight your screen.
Ooh, lots of red.
Oh, no, that's not you. That's you.
Yeah, that's a lot of red on the outside there.
Oh, it's purple.
Oh, okay. It looks red. Sorry.
It is, okay, technically it is, now watch, it says red on the pencil. Hold on.
Probably like wine.
Magenta
Okay.
is kind of red. Yeah, like a
It says, pencil says purple violet.
Oh, okay. Well, that's all right.
Okay, just only because if it was all red, it would be a totally different situation. It's not. All right. Okay, let's see. So after I do this, and this is the one thing I'm going to speak in like a kind of a metaphor kind of situation. This is what I saw. This I thought was like a burr, like when you're walking on the beach and you step on something really pointy and it sticks in your foot and it hurts, like a burr like that. Now,
yeah.
So that's what I saw this whole thing was. And I see it kind of as like mirrored to like the outside too. So now burrs are really a big pain in the butt when you step on them because they hurt. But then also for the actual burr, well, it's pretty well protected because then no one wants to step on it, right? So this is really talking a lot about the rune algaes, which was the rune that I was talking about, was the rune for 2021. And so you being a burr in effect, like metaphorically speaking, okay, hold on. I see that as really like you are like the go big or go home version of like 2021, like really understanding what it is and living what it means to be protected, to feel protected, and to like live in the zone of like living how you feel inside, but living that way outside. So I feel like having to do with how you protect yourself, having to do with what protection means and how what you need to feel okay. Yeah, I feel like I can see this in my mind. I don't know if that made sense to you. Does that make sense?
Sorta.
Okay. Well, so I see you as being a burr, and I also see you as stepping on a burr and not liking it one bit. And in the moment of that, I feel like in the burr is the answer that you're looking for. It's like your sense of peace and calm is inside the burr.
Okay.
So, and that's all I got.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Sure.
All right, I think Kara's next. Yeah, Kara, go ahead.
Okay, before Kara starts, I just want to say thank you, everybody. But I want to also, I want to focus. I don't want to focus on like, I'm not depressed necessarily. I'm just losing energy now. And so I'd rather focus on what's ahead of me and not like the depression and all of that. So
Yep. I think everyone, okay, great. I'm trying to make sure that you don't dip more. Go ahead, Kara.
Yeah. I'm just curious what's coming for me. Where should I go? So.
Do you, Kimberly, do you do social work or organizing of some kind? Are you a helper?
Yeah, I'm a helper. I was a social worker. I have my degree is in community development. Yes.
All of it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it makes perfect sense. Your soul is so aligned with service, and that's been life.
Yeah. When I was 11 years old, I trick-or-treated for UNICEF, and my brother and sister were like, what the hell? And I did it.
Oh yeah, that would be a Virgo moon in the 11th house. Yeah, very good. Now the question is, in your work, are you working directly with clients? Are you kind of involved in
No,
this?
I'm not working right now.
Oh, you're not working right now. Okay.
No.
Well, one thing that kind of got my attention is just how energetically sensitive you are. So if you were real close in the day to day. Some things ahead, I would say energetic practices to protect your extreme sensitivity to energy. But in terms of things I see coming ahead, I'm curious about how you're planning on using your voice. It seems like there's something that may be getting stirred up in you, something you want to write about, maybe something that's around healing or trauma, or perhaps a secret that is needing to come out and be explored in some way.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if there's, I was thinking, I've got a project around widows because I'm a widow. And so about that, but I really hadn't thought about that.
Okay,
Like.
That's perfect. And I'm sorry to hear about your being widowed, but a perfect use of your voice. So your Mercury is our communication planet, and we look to see what part of the chart it rules. Your Mercury rules what we call the 8th house, which is a house associated with healing, transformation. It's also a place that is associated with death. So when you just said, I'm thinking, I have this kind of thing in the works where I may talk about that subject matter, that is a perfect use of your voice. And in fact, I think you're going to be incredibly inclined to move down that road. Let me see, when was I? Summertime is when you're going to have an eclipse come and say, it's time, Kimberly. And you might not feel it right away, but it's going to start putting things in motion for that voice to come out, for that story to be shared and told. And gosh, I just getting chills thinking about it. It feels like this book or whatever project that you put out into the world is going to be an amazing point of connection for people. I mean, you have a lot of energy in the 11th house, which is that place of giving back in some way. It's also a place of community and networking. And so I'm just seeing how this book is going to create this global network. Maybe it's not global, but it's a large network of people that you're going to be able to help through your story. So I think that's going to start getting really heavy on your heart, where you go, okay, I gotta bring this out into the world. I don't mean heavy in a bad way, but like in a it's pushing on you kind of way, for that to come about. And then if there's relationship stuff or whatever, there's just kind of a little focus on freedom and needing some space. And so if there's anything happening in that realm, it's just kind of giving you the time and space that you need to figure some of these other pieces out.
Yeah, I don't have, that's, I haven't done that yet. So, not
Well,
ready.
It may be stirring up possibility then.
maybe, yeah. Okay,
Well,
thank you.
Thank you.
And now, so my ascending is Scorpio and my sun is Scorpio, right? And then my moon is in Virgo.
Your moon is in Virgo, along with a lot of other things. And Virgo, all that Virgo energy, well, you were talking, someone said about self-criticism. I mean, that's Virgo moon especially can do that. But Virgo is also relates to our digestive system in a way, our intestines. And so when we're over analyzing and we're worrying and things like that, you have a potential to have some stomach troubles by overthinking or over analyzing things. And so I don't have an instant solution on that, but I just to kind of highlight some areas and how they're tied together.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, great. And then other practitioners, did anyone have anything else to share with Kimberly? Finish up, and I'm just going to pin you on mine just for a moment. I don't specifically see it in your eyes exactly the same way that I typically would, but it just feels like there's something else that's lighter and more creative and more playful and like not what you know and not what you think you should do. Like there's something else that's wanted, like some change. I don't know if it's like color or being outside, or there's just something that's wanted that's different in your energy. And I think that that's part of why your energy is being heavier or going down, or like it's just, or has been. It feels like there's a little bit of a sinking in there, and there's something that's wanted that's like brighter and lighter. So I would just play around with exploring what that might be. You might know, and you haven't let it happen.
Maybe
playing around with more of what that might be.
Yeah, because my two things are I want to do something with widows, but I also want to do a dog rescue. And so trying to figure out what that, and I see them separately, but.
And I guess, and for me, is like noticing how much the desire is should and how much it is really desire, how much you really want it and how much it's pleasurable.
Exactly. Well, and that's the thing, is that the dog thing is probably what I want.
That's what I thought.
But I don't think, but then, it's like, that's
what you sound like you should, like, because widows need it and you should, blah, blah, that's what, and it just, that could drag your energy down and make things heavier. So I would let yourself play with dogs and find out what your energy is like, and then find out.
Well, I have 4 dogs. So,
great.
Yeah. And I do a lot of energy and Reiki with them. And so they're all very sensitive. And so, but
so
yeah,
I mean, doing a rescue, I mean, so part of it may be that it's actually doing Reiki and doing energy healing and work with animals as opposed to being a rescue. Like there may be other ways that you reach more.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I did actually, after I took my second class for Reiki, before the pandemic, my girlfriend has a couple of foster dogs through a rescue, and I went over and gave them Reiki, and she said they loved it. Afterwards she like texted me and said, oh, they loved it. And
So
but I was just trying to kind of practice.
It might not be a physical rescue where you're doing physical care for them. It might be energetic, like rescue, where you're doing energetic upliftment of dogs or something like that.
Exactly.
Like honor and upliftment or something. Anyway, ideas. All right, great.
All right.
Well,
all right. Thank you.
Yeah, practitioner, just seeing if there's anything else. Okay, great. Thank you so much, Kimberly.
Thank you. And I will send Amanda a note about my drawing. So
great. All right, sweet. All right, let's see. So Natalie, you are up next.
Okay. So I put my birth date info in the chat. It's May 2nd, 1987 at 8:30 in the morning in San Francisco.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, she's got it. Okay,
cool.
Put it in there. Yeah, great.
So my question is kind of similar to what everyone else has been asking. I just want to know where I should really put my focus in the year 2021.
All right, great. I'm just going to jump in and share a little bit while practitioners are getting in line. So your two of your talents are going to be maybe all. So you're going to have probably a combination of priest, priestess, and artisan and server. So priest, priestess is about emotions. It's about inspiration, vision, passion, motivation. It's about motivating others and making a big difference in the world. And then artisan is about freedom, creativity, pleasure, and energy. So you're sensitive to energy, aren't you? You can get overwhelmed in some situations, right? Because you're picking up sensual information, sense information all the time, and then energy. And then you probably also have server, which is about love and intimacy and deep connections with each person. Does that make sense to you? All those things?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, and so being with people selectively is really important. So your physical environment is super important. Part of your gifts are maybe creating energetic and sensually pleasurable experiences for people that are uplifting for people. So you really want to be in a place like that where the energy is good for you. You could do lots of different, so I don't know what you do for work, but just lots of things that have to do with people and uplifting of kind of the setting or the scenario for people. Does it?
I work for a health insurance company and like sales.
Yeah, so it's and so managing other people and mentoring other people would be something that you would probably be really good at too. And so that you're in health and doing sales in health, I think is a really good thing. So something that you believe in, that, so hopefully you appreciate the company and how they treat people and the impact they make in the world. Yeah, so just doing all kinds of things in healthcare, I could see would be a good fit, but anything that's a little more alternative and definitely is in line with your values is really important.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and just in terms of this year, I just anyway energetically that your surroundings aren't a good fit for you. So if are you working from home or in the office?
Yeah, I'm working from home full time now.
Yeah, so any way that you can shift around working from home, so like it's more beautiful, like you have more of a connection to nature when you're working. You really need to balance all the technology that you're on right now so that you have just other things that are balancing that out, because it's really not so great for you. Just like Dale was talking earlier about, she's on the video so much these days, like her energies are similar to yours. So yeah,
okay, got it.
yeah. those are some of the things that occur to me. All right, practitioners, who wants to jump in and share with Natalie? Oh, practitioner.
I'm here.
Go ahead. Cool.
Mostly. Because it feels like Mother Mary wants to come through and talk to you, Natalie, if you'll give me just a moment, please. What to tell you you don't already know. You know this is a time you have to explore deep within you. Be open to the vulnerability. You have many possibilities, but this is an opportunity for you to dig deeply within yourself. Um, Native Americans would call it vision quest. You do not have that luxury here, but you have an opportunity to explore. This is the year of exploration for everyone. You all come through and have, oh, 2020 was so dreadful. Yes, yes, it was, but it was an opportunity to, oh, it's so graphic, but to rip off the bandage to see what healing is needed. So taking that time to look deep within, now apply what you have learned from last year to now. You will be asked to go to a place of vulnerability, Natalie, a place where you do not feel, oh, what is it? This one likes movies. Which one is she telling me about? She is talking. There is one where our hero has to follow a series of trials. It was. It was one about the Holy Grail, the Crusaders, Last Crusade, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. He goes through all of these challenges, take the right step, roll this way and not get stabbed in the head. My, she is graphic. But there is one where we are all being called on to find your heart, see where your faith lies, and step out in what looks like to be an abyss. He takes a step, and there before him is a bridge that takes him to the cup, the chalice that they say Yeshua drank from. This is your opportunity to step out onto that bridge, to find that passion, that ability to heal so many people. You have that ability, but you must heal yourself and open up to the vulnerability. Believe me, you are supported and you can trust those you feel closest to support you through this. So we ask you to look, to remain grounded. So calling in Mother Earth up through your feet, divine through your head, to meet up into your heart, to explode into this glorious light of hope and joy and love, so that you are supported in your time of vulnerability and you will get through it. You will find what it is you are looking for. Decide what you are looking for. Kuan Yin said that you are your direction. You call your place. But this is a time for you to look at the vulnerability and to hold yourself as a newborn babe. And I will be there with you. I am with everyone to hold you, to shop with you, to help you cook your food. I am there to support you. All right?
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
I've had
Blessing.
Mother Mary come through for me other times too.
Because I won't leave you alone. But I am there for you, my darling. So blessings unto you.
Great, thank you. We've got Jamie, Amanda, and Kara in line. Go ahead, Jamie.
Hi, Natalie. So the description just now for Mother Mary was spot on from what I saw when you started to talk. Susie and I were everyone's joining up again. And it is that the energy, the self-love, that central connection between your hand, your energy up into the earth, the sky, where everything is flying, where everything is light, where everything is airy, where everything is just breezy and smooth. And then the other hand connected down into the earth. Your feet are rooted, your energy is rooted, so that you can occupy both spaces at the same time. And while you're doing so, the energy is running up, the energy is running down, it's coming into your heart and just swirling this really beautiful pattern. And then that is what you get to use to help others and to do what you feel called to do. So yeah, that's exactly what I saw. I hope that helps.
Yeah, no, totally. I appreciate that because I don't think in the many years I've been practicing spirituality, I've never seen what you just showed me, which is the hand above the head and then the other hand on the ground.
Yeah.
So that's really helpful. Thank you.
Good.
You're welcome.
Great. All right. And then we've got Kara and Sandra.
I'm next. Hi, Natalie.
Hi, Kara.
Nice to meet you. When I look at your chart, I can see how you'd be a good, you said you work in sales of some kind. I could see how you'd be really, really good at that. And I also look and wonder if you might rather be doing something for yourself instead.
In what way?
Well, I could see, I've got two ideas for you.
Yeah.
One, I could see you starting a nonprofit or doing something oriented along those things. I think you'd make a fantastic fundraiser. That's a skill and a life path I walked for a long, long, long time. So anyway, but I just get the sense of wanting to create something of your own that also has a social impact. So that's one thing that kind of got me going. And then the other piece is, you've got quite a few indications of working as a healer, like a lot of people who are here. So there's a couple ways things could go, and there's lots of things for us to do and explore in this life. So I may be seeing multiple things. But do either of those resonate with you?
Yeah, I've been called a healer, but I think I've just had trouble like knowing where that path will lead me. And then as far as like fundraising, I think I've steered away from that just financially. I'm not sure that would work out for me, but I do have a tendency to work like volunteer for organizations around women with domestic violence and also just like child
Yes.
trafficking and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Well, don't knock fundraising just because you think you'll have a small nonprofit salary. I made 6 figures as a nonprofit fundraiser, so there are plenty of jobs that can well support you and also, be around your passion and interest areas for sure. The thing is, this year you're gonna be feeling all the big energies this year. Are you familiar with astrology? Do you follow it at all?
Yeah, I know Jupiter just moved into Aquarius and then my midheaven is in Aquarius. So I've wondered how that would impact me at all. Yeah.
Yeah, and it depends what house system you use. But even more so than that is you're a Taurus sun and you're a Taurus Mercury, and both your sun and your Mercury are sitting right in the zone of where Saturn and Jupiter are going to be, and Uranus are pushing on. So when I look at that, I go, wow, you're in for a lot of change this year. So you may feel more restless than normal. You may feel more agitated than normal. And there's going to be some decision points where you're like, okay, I got to do something different here. And Taurus, like, I don't know if you're here at the beginning when I was just briefly describing the energies, but Taurus, I want the stability and the structure and the plan, and I want to know what's happening. And then all these energies are going to come in and really rustle things up in different ways. So there's that happening, but then there's also going to be an eclipse that activates your leadership abilities. So I'm also I was kind of looking at that going, it seems like she's getting ready to want to do something different, use her energy in a different way, perhaps start something of her own in some way. So I think just whatever ends up being, just know that this year is unstable for a reason, because it's trying to shake something new, out of it all.
Awesome. Thank you. I do need some wrestling, so I'm not fearful of that. I'm welcoming of it.
Yeah, cool. I'm excited for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Great. All right. Oh, Sandra, go ahead, Sandra.
Hi. Yeah, the first thing that came to me was a prayer which is a really good idea, especially when you're in so much change. And as Cara was saying, I also heard you're going to be in a lot of change, but the prayer is you get up every morning and you say, I am more than I think I am. And you really embody it. You feel that I am more than I know I am. And I am open and accepting to my higher self communicating with me my highest gifts and skills. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And so getting up every morning and saying that opens you up to possibilities. And curiosity is one of the main things that also came up for this year, was really being curious about, okay, what's this about? And how can I navigate this? And what's around the corner? And when you're curious, you let go of fear, and you move out of that analyzing, is this right? Is this wrong? Or I can't do this. I can't do that. And it opens you up to different possibilities that you may not have thought about, or that you may have rejected out of hand for whatever programming and beliefs are on in your head. So I also heard, like many people have said, that you're a really powerful healer. You have a lot of gifts and a lot of skills to bring. So allowing that to come to you is what's going to be the key thing. And this may be self-serving, but what I'm going to be doing on Thursday, the free, or sliding scale meditation, is exactly that. Meditating and connecting with your higher self and being able to see your inner truth of what you are from inside. So if you can come, please come.
I had already planned to join.
Oh,
when I heard you say it. And a lot of what you just said resonated with my journey the past few years, where I've said no to some opportunities, over analyzing and just kind of because of fear. So I really appreciate what you said, and I will definitely use that affirmation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Great. All right, practitioners, anything else? Yeah, and by the way, I just, Natalie, I don't know how much Kara actually said though, but doing fundraising can actually be a very lucrative. It just, it really just depends on where you are and what you're doing. Oh, we can't hear you, Natalie, but
It depends on how good you are at it too. If you're very good at it, you can have your pick of all the jobs, because it's a very hard job to find someone for.
Oh, thank you so much. I didn't realize that.
and someone that has the
Oh, and
heart that you have. Go ahead, Kara.
And I should say the part that is lucrative is if you have the people skills, so you're good at the one-to-one. And so you can be a fundraising officer, development director that goes and meets with, affluent philanthropists in your community. You get to go out to lunch, you wine and dine people. You just get to talk to people for a living and make a good living and do good work. So it's actually a really wonderful, wonderful career. Not as fun as astrology, so I had to make a shift. But... And they're all Aquarian things, right? Astrology, the esoteric healing, nonprofit work, fundraising, they're all Aquarian things for your midheaven.
Great. Yeah, so now if you reach out to me, I can get you more information too, and from Kara. So yeah, I have resources and she might also. All right, great. By the way, Satora, I know, has to take off. Satora, did you want to just share your information? And then also I was going to have Edith go up next. I know she would love to hear from you, but yeah, so just if you want to just share how people can get in touch with you, and I'll put things in the chat. And everyone, Amanda had to take off too. So Satora, go ahead.
Yeah, my information is freesatora@gmail.com, freesatora@gmail.com. If you want to contact me.
Great, thanks so much, Satora. I know it's being here on the computer and in the evening is not so great for everyone. So thanks so much for being here and sharing your gifts. And Satora's information and Amanda's information is in the chat too, for those of you that are still here. All right, great. Well, let's see. So I think Edith, and then I'm gonna say, so Edith, and we've got Laurel and Martha still. So Edith, did you want to come on and share your question?
Hi guys. I'm really just looking to see what 2021 holds, and also if you see any health concerns. I've been told I need to gain 10 pounds. So if you have any hints for gaining 10 pounds, I'd accept that tonight too. So.
Okay, great, great. And Satora, if you're still here, if you're able to go first, I know Edith would love to hear from you if you have that in you. Yeah. But yeah, whichever practitioner wants to go. I just wanted to offer that for Satori if she does.
Yeah, thank you. Edith, is it okay if would you be
Yes.
willing to connect with me maybe tomorrow and we'll
Yes,
talk?
Cynthia, that's fine with me.
Because right now I'm
Yes,
I don't really
I
get
totally
anything.
understand. I totally understand. And yes, we can do that.
Okay, so I private message you my phone number and you can just text me. We can make a time.
Okay, that sounds
Awesome.
wonderful.
Thank
Have a
you.
wonderful evening.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Thanks, Satora.
Bye.
Bye-bye, Satora. All right, great. So practitioners, there's still a group of us here. Yeah, who wants to share with Edith? And I know you said, yeah, gaining 10 pounds and just direction for 2021. Is that the?
Yes.
Is that okay? Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, everybody's really quiet.
Deeper look at you too. So interesting.
Yeah.
Well, definitely in terms of just eating, it's so funny, right? So I have no trouble holding on weight. All of our bodies are different, but if they're so, I don't know if you love the food that you eat, if you're in an environment where you love the environment when you're eating. If you're wanting to be with people, creating some, just some creative way that you're with people when you're eating. You seem like you're energetically sensitive, and I could see that your body like goes through energy that you eat really quickly, kind of more like a bird. I think birds eat often. So I would let yourself eat often. Like, don't follow any rules of how you think you're supposed to eat.
Okay.
I would really listen to your body. That seems really important. And
Problem is, I just a lot of times don't have an appetite. So.
Yeah, appetite. Interesting. Yeah, so it'd be great. Yeah, to connect with Satora tomorrow. I think that'll be good. What else would I? Yeah, and and we've got other practitioners in line. Let me let them go and I'll see what more comes. So let's see, what order did they come in? We've got Jamie and Susie. Go ahead.
Hi, Edith.
Hi.
So I got more about the 2020, but I got one word for the eating and it was eggs. I don't know.
Okay.
All I got was eggs.
Okay.
I don't know if you like eggs or
Yeah,
anything. It was just
I like eggs. So.
Eggs. Yeah. And then for 2021 for the year, that feels like a mix of honoring your imagination and allowing yourself to feel inspired. Like those are the two things that are going to be really big for you this year. Is you'll find some really great inspirations, and you want to open up and honor your imagination, your ability to just daydream. Like we all did when we were kids, and we are all told we don't have time for now. Well, we have time. So let yourself just kind of be imaginative and be inspired, and just let it take you where it wants to. No agenda, no ending, no preconceived thought. And just let those feelings into your life for 2021. That's what I got.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, great. And then
Can I ask a clarifying question?
Yeah, sure.
Your the health issues and the trouble putting on or holding on to weight, is that always been the case, or was there a time when that started that you can remember?
I've always been on the thinner side. I did gain some weight a few years ago, but then lost it again. Stress in 2020 was really heavy for me, and I was contributing it to that. I also been diagnosed with GERD, but but I don't get the acid reflux. It all just stays on my stomach. So I have just recently in November, I moved to a new situation, and that has helped a little bit because one of my roommates is a awesome cook. And so that has helped some, but I'm still having a little bit of trouble. I'm still not gaining weight.
Okay. All right. I'll keep looking. I just wanted to
Thanks.
get a sense
Yep.
of the timeline. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, great. We've got Susie and then Sandra. So Susie, go ahead.
Okay, so Edith, I drew some cards, and the first one was volatility. So there are a bunch of changes coming ahead for you. What are the changes? I got focused on the other part of it. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I saw that I drew other cards that led me down a path of the thinness, your tendency to be thin, not only is a generational, it's a genetic thing, but it's
Okay.
also related to a past life. So you've had
Oh.
past lives in which you had to care for, I'm hearing very specifically children. And it was one of those situations where you were, well, let's see, where was it? It feels like south. It was on the, what is that? The west coast of Africa. You were on a slave ship. Wow, you were being carted over from the Côte d'Ivoire, and you were on a slave ship, and so you shared your food with the children. You were an old woman, and you said, I won't make it anyway because they don't want me. So you would give your meager portions to small children whose mother's milk had dried up. And so that was, you were so painfully thin then, and then the whole situation. So that genetic material has stuck with you. To release that past life, we can call her forward. And she was old, she was hunched over, she didn't make it across the ocean, and she just looks at you and she says, thank you. You are released from the obligation. She had said, Muba, I think was what she was called. Muba said, I had made the promise in my lifetime that I would always take care of the children. I would always let them eat first. So that lifetime is done. We can release the promise. So she withdraws her energy from you, and you give her energy. You retrieve your energy, she retrieves her. And with love and gratitude, we release her to go up into the skies. In fact, Mother Mary comes forward and takes her very gently up into the light, and integrating that wisdom of, yes, taking care of others is important, but at this time now, in this lifetime, it is up to you to take care of yourself. So she's released. You integrate the wisdom. If you want to offer her something, she says, make a ceremony out of eating. Give it import. Set it with intention. So as whoever your roommate makes the dinner or whatever, it's like saying grace. So you're blessing the food so that it not only feeds your body, but it feeds your soul. And so it also makes the food more bioaccessible to you. Yeah, Muba's like, I'm fine. I can move on. The children, we're fine. We're fine. So please release that fear.
I felt that energy release.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
I love immediate gratification. That makes me happy. Okay.
Something
good.
happened there, Susie. So
excellent, Edith.
you.
Thank you.
Great, Sandra, go ahead.
Yeah, I heard three things, and the first thing I heard really strong was vitality, and that is different from energy. Vitality has to do with being, having well-being and having being connected throughout your system and all the endocrine system as well, your hormones. You've already got a really high metabolism, so be careful about eating too often, but make sure that you're eating, as Lorelei said, make sure that you're eating what you want to eat and letting go of those programming. I don't know how old you are, but you know, we went through this whole, I'm older, so we went through this whole thing of fats are bad for us, you know, cut out fats and then sugars. It was just this whole programming, social programming that happened to us around food. And your metabolism is already strong. So, what it is about now is balancing your hormonal system with your blood sugar and getting all of that to work in harmony for the highest and best for your whole physical body. And so, the more you can do whatever work you need to do to get in touch with your body as a whole and what it needs and what it wants. And then I love what Lorelai also said about blessing the food and honoring the food that goes in, and asking that the food supply what your body needs to be at its optimum health. Don't say perfect health, because it isn't perfect health right now. Optimum health, strength, flexibility, and well-being, so that you're telling the universe, you're telling that you want food that nourishes you and that all else is eliminated. And allow yourself to eat. I don't know if you try to eat really healthy.
Actually, I eat anything and everything that
Good.
when I eat, like I'm like a grazing cow. I just graze until I'm full, and then yeah, so I eat everything. In fact, I joke with my friends that I get to eat all the cakes and pies and cookies, you know, that they say they can't eat because I'm trying to gain weight. And so
Yeah, that's kind of what I heard, and that's why I kept hearing that it's about balance. You know, our hormones have to be balanced in order to lose weight or to gain weight.
right.
And so our endocrine system with our hormonal system, our pineal gland, our thyroid, all of those have to be in perfect balance. Your chakras are actually connected to your endocrine system. And I see that you've got some imbalances in the movement and the energy going in through your chakras. So do whatever work is necessary if you're working with a naturopath, if you're working with a healer, to really get the endocrine system and your hormones balanced so that you can do that. Stress also, the second word I heard was stress before you even said anything about it, that stress is really affecting you. So it's about getting the adrenals and the spleen and the liver unwound, because when I'm a I can go inside a body and feel it, and your adrenals feel like this.
Okay.
And your spleen feels like this.
Okay.
I don't know how to explain it because I'm empathic. So those are all bound up and need to be released. The other thing, what was the third thing I heard? I've totally forgotten it. It's gone.
And it's okay. It can come back afterwards. I know. I'm just.
Okay. Well, anyway, yeah, approach it from that level of balancing so that your body can utilize the energy that you've got in the best way possible for you.
Thanks, Sandra.
All right, great. Kara, go ahead.
Okay. Hi, Edith.
Hi.
I'm looking at your chart in terms of medical astrology, but I must say that I'm not a licensed physician. So this is just looking at my opinion of things. And a full assessment would take more, but I'm just kind of getting a sense of things. And, you know, one thing that really, really strikes me is the abundance of earth energy in your chart and the complete lack of water. In fact, you have some things that are draining water from your body. And so instantly made me wonder about your hydration. How well hydrated are you? Is that a big focus of yours to stay hydrated?
Yeah, I have to really focus on staying hydrated.
Yeah. Do you take any herbal supplements or anything that help with that?
No.
Again, I can't prescribe or at this I'm actually in herbal school right now, so soon I will have more knowledge to share with my medical astrology clients, which is really exciting. But I think what you need, I would say finding a practitioner that could help you with this would be helpful, but you're gonna want some kind of a herbal healing remedy that helps your body be able to hold on to water. So we're looking for herbs that have was it mucilage type, a moistening quality,
Okay.
because I think that's a huge part of all of this. And actually, the type of water that you drinking water that's very mineralized.
Okay.
One brand that I have heard good things about is called Icelandic water, and I think it can help the body hold on. It has more salts and things in it that kind of help the body be able to hold on to water better.
Okay.
I would use salt in my food as well if you don't right now, because I think
I've
that
actually increased my salt.
good. Okay, good. I think that is helpful as well. And so, and with all that dryness, elimination is really challenged as well, I would imagine.
Mhm.
It looks like there's a lot of
Okay.
stress and strain. And your joints too. Are your joints dry? Do you feel kind of creaky?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So, so it's primarily a hydration. I shouldn't say primarily. Hydration is a huge component. Some other things that I'm thinking about when I see there's several things that are around sensitive digestion just in general. But I'm wondering if you have a hyper immune system reaction to certain foods. Have you had any like in-depth allergy testing?
I've had in-depth allergy testing and nothing as far as foods came up. The only thing that showed up on the test was an allergy to something that's like a neosporin in creams. It's called Noxin.
Okay.
So that's the only thing that I was totally surprised. I thought for sure there'd be something more, but that was the only thing that showed up in the testing.
Have you been tested for SIBO or other bacteria in your intestinal system?
No.
I would look into that. There's actually if you find a naturopath, and I have one I could recommend if you need someone to work with, there's a comprehensive digestive test that can be done. I think that would be well worth the money, and insurance would probably cover it. If it doesn't, it's quite a few $100s. But I think it would be well worth it because I get the sense that there's some overabundance of something, whether it's a bacteria or something that's kind of messing with things. And it could be that there is still an immune system response that may just be not specific to a food, but there's something getting activated.
Okay.
So those are some practical. I'm just kind of looking at your chart from a practical standpoint, instead of a what's coming next, if that's okay. Just because there are a few things that really stood out as potentially helpful. I hope.
Hey, do you have any trouble sleeping also, or sleep just fine?
Yeah, no, I have trouble sleeping. I can stay up really late, and then if I sleep 6 hours, I'm good. I mean,
there is something called a short sleeper also. So about 1% of the population is genetically a short sleeper, and they only need about 6 hours of sleep, whereas other people need 8 hours of sleep on average.
Yeah, I would love 8 hours of sleep, but very seldom do I
Okay, you
ever
don't get it. Okay, there's
Yeah.
one other thing I'll write, but maybe I can write it in the chat. It's something else that Kara might have been picking up on. So I'll
Okay.
write and share in the chat what it is.
Okay.
Okay, great. All right. Well, thank you, practitioners. Thank you so much,
Thanks.
Edith, for your question.
Thank you so much.
All right, great. So we've got a couple more, and so we're going to go right to Laurel. I know we want to try to get Jamie in. Jamie's got to take off shortly. All right, Laurel, did you want to ask your question?
Okay. Yeah, I was pondering what I wanted to ask, and there's just so much. So I thought if I talked a little bit about 2020, that it might come to me or somebody else. What was the most important thing to address there? I had been substitute teaching, and then when COVID came, as you know, the schools closed, and and I've just my background, lifetime background, is that I've been tended to live kind of on the edge financially. So substitute teaching came at some point became my career. And I have had not as much now, but in the past, I felt judgment from my brother about my financial situation. So when COVID happened and there was the option for unemployment insurance, I went, oh, I really don't want to get into playing that game, because that kind of thing just really stresses me out, trying to jump through bureaucratic hoops and to understand them in the first place. I'm just not good at that. It's not my thing. But I thought, you know, this is what my brother would do. He's so that seemed, and it seemed like a really naive thing to just say, well, you know, let it go. I need money, but let it go. So I got into the whole unemployment thing and couldn't understand it. It's a very convoluted, long story that I won't go into. And then finally, very recently, I got a letter from the unemployment office that I had been denied. No money comes from the unemployment office at all. So a good friend, because she cares and she wants to see me have money. And I do have a very small pension and a small Social Security, so it's not like substitute teaching is my only money. She suggested, strongly suggested that I on the 26th of December, that I fill out a PUA. And I'm skipping a whole part that I intended to talk about, that I had kind of a heart issue. We'll call it a heart attack, because the cardiologist still wants me to have a CT angiogram because he's not convinced. But it was very stress related. It was anger that had been stuffed, and I ended up in the hospital with diagnosis of a heart attack. So I just want to throw that out. So with this recent determination of no money coming from unemployment, I did fill out the PUA. I actually did it in reverse. I filled out the weekly report first, and then the PUA, because I had an old PUA that had been denied. Like I say, it's convoluted. And I probably don't need all that information, but the weekly report went to the old PUA. Anyway, so I was having a sleep problem after I filled out that PUA, that I wasn't really feeling it, you know, but I was extremely disappointed about not getting any money after hours on the phone. And yeah, you guys probably know the trip from somebody somewhere. I get these little messages. Sometimes they're right on, sometimes they're not. But I got a message when I was having this sleep problem, and after filling out the PUA on the 27th of December, I got manufactured mistake. And then a couple days later, I saw on the upper belly of my underpants, I saw 90% and some other writing that I don't recall. And then I heard, "You're in the wrong, that you fraudulently did this." So all my life, it's a life pattern, doing left brain complex things where you have to pull a lot of information together. It's strongly affected my life. And I don't know whether I should continue to spend time on the phone with them. I'm right-brained, I'm 73, and I'm going, you know, it's time to really value my time. What do I need to be doing? And is it kind of irresponsible, if there is money there for me, to just say, let it go? But I'm in low-cost housing now. That's very recent. that's another piece of 2020. I moved in a relatively short amount of time for me, so I'm still like trying to get my place together. So just wondering what anybody might have to say.
Yeah, well, like one thing, so you're in the Portland area, right?
Right.
Yeah, I know other people in Portland that have had tons of trouble with unemployment there for some reason. I don't know why. It's just been much harder to work with. If there's someone there that you had worked with, I would connect in with them again. There are definitely some mistakes, and I know just some things happened, and it's possible that something still might come through for that. I don't know enough of the specifics, but just that's there. And yeah, it just sounds like, well, I'll let Susie go, but your brother and the voices that you hear and some of the self-talk, it all seems related. Yeah, so we got Susie and Jamie. Oh yeah, and actually I'm gonna have Jamie go first if she's available. I know she's got to take off quickly. Susie, okay, let's have Jamie go first. Go ahead, Jamie.
Hi, Laurel. So what I'm hearing for you is it's balance. And being unbalanced is what ended up causing the heart problems, obviously, because you were very stressed out. There was just a lot going on. So there was a lot of like very fiery things happening.
Yeah, and did I mention I had a very difficult roommate for 4 years, and I'm out of there.
That'll do it.
And that was what spurred the heart issue.
Oh, that'll do it. That is for sure. When you don't have anywhere to feel safe and secure, because
well, now
I've worked at schools, and it can be great, but it's not safe and secure. Like, you don't go there and feel like home. Like, so, and if you don't have somewhere else to go to where you go home, then yeah, I can't imagine. I'm very glad you're here. Just put that out there. So it sounds like some good changes happened. Some very big messages happened. And that this year is going to be then about finding that balance, not just constantly struggling, constantly pushing that boulder uphill, but
the what? Oh, boulder uphill.
Not always pushing but knowing when to just step to the side and be like, bye. And just letting it roll somewhere else. And because you're in the Portland area, nature is your very best friend. I think that here, especially, even when there is not another place that you feel safe and grounded in at home, there are tons of forests to walk into that I feel absolutely give you that feeling and that sense. So take advantage of that as best you can and help to release and rebuild. So really just shedding all of that did build up that caused the heart issues. So really letting that go and refilling all of those spaces out in nature so that you can achieve that balance that you so desperately need right now.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, go ahead, Susie.
So Laurel, hi. I'm seeing some past life connections. What really came forward to me was your brother and how he was talking at you. And I got a couple of past lives there. One of them in which you were, okay, first off, let me give you a groundwork. We all travel in soul families. So you're going to have the same personalities, or, in this life, your brother and sister, but in a past life, I saw that it feels very Victorian, and he was one of those, he was your husband at the time, and he was one of those who said that women had no brain. And,
We're carrying that over.
Yeah. So there's that one. And then there was another one where there was an abuse of power. It feels very Asian, Japanese, sort of not a sweatshop sort of thing, but it was, he he was feeling pressure from the shogun or whoever was in charge, and he had to produce. And as a result, his anxiety and his anger played out on his workers. And you were one of those workers. And, the whole ugly thing. I'd like to focus more. I mean, they're both unpleasant lives, but I'd like to focus more on the Victorian one, in which you were told you didn't have the brain power to do it. You were a woman, and so you were inherently less. So looking at that personality as you, as your personality, he had extracted a promise from you to, oh wow, to never think, to never assume you knew more than he did in that lifetime.
Oh.
And so those promises come forward and they play out. And that's where it's playing here, because the word never and always are such absolutes and they carry forward. So we can look at that lifetime and that personality stands up to him. And Evelyn was her name. And even then, he kept naming her wrong. He was using the name of, was it his mother? He kept calling you Eleanor. And your name,
My mother's middle name was Eleanor.
I love it when that stuff happens. But he kept calling you by his mother's name. So he had his own issues in that life. But in this life, as Evelyn, we can see you stand up to him and you say, my name is Evelyn, and I do have a brain. In fact, I won't say you had what we call now side hustles, but you were able to take the money he gave you for the household. He really hated doing that, but you said, you're not here when we go out to market. And you were able to actually create quite a nice nest egg for yourself. You didn't leave him at the time, but you had this money, and it was Evelyn's, that little secret that she had. She says, I have money. And she did do that, have this money set aside to escape him whenever she wanted to. But ultimately, he was the one who had the heart attack because he smoked and drank and did all those things that were just because he was a man and, rah, rah, rah. So you were able to still afterwards, you were still able to continue to live actually better because you were then allowed to make investments. But Evelyn looks at you and she says, I had that lifetime. You don't need to have that now. So give me back that energy. I revoke the promise. You are no longer held to that promise of not having a brain. You are able to make these choices. And she encourages you to try to have someone help you because bureaucracy is so convoluted. That's the word you were using, and I agree. It's very convoluted. But taking the time to read it, giving yourself permission to look at it without that, oh, I don't know this stuff. Allow your brain, allow that right side. Isn't the right side the creative side of the brain?
Yeah.
Make a game of it. Play with it. And talk at it. I do that too. I just renewed business licenses today. And so I'm like, oh, I can do this and use that empowering talk and then talk back at the screen. Do what you need to. Make it a game and you will get through it. You'll probably need to talk to somebody about it, but you have people around you because as Lorelei said, it seems like Portland and Oregon is having that overwhelm. That's what it is all being overwhelmed. But you can do it. And so talking to Evelyn and saying, honey, I've got this. We will do this. We will be fine. And she will, I don't think she's the spirit guide so much. She needs to go. But you have other guides with you. No, they're not showing me. They said, take a few moments. We'll talk to you in dream time to help you move forward. But it's
saying that? Who is saying
that? One of your spirit guides. Who would it be? No, Mother Mary.
Okay.
Boy, she's coming up a lot too. She's like, no, I can help you. I can help you. She had to manage all of the disciples. She said, I can certainly help you with your unemployment. She's a marvel. She truly is. I encourage you to really connect with her and Yeah, she's a marvel. Develop your own relationship with her. It's not just the way I present her, but talk to her and say,
Okay,
okay, I call her mom. So, okay, mom, I need help here. And she's all in it. She's rolling up her sleeves and ready to help.
great. Well, in all fairness to my brother, we've had 3 get-togethers at my new place that have been very amicable, and I'm just going like, oh my gosh.
Good.
We're finally in agreement about COVID, and so I think it helps.
Well, and now that you can make that past life disconnect, that detachment from that,
Mhm.
it's going to be even better. You're
Mm.
not looking to change his mind. You're looking to build your life.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Great. Got Sandra and then Kara.
Hi, Laurel. I hear that you're an incredibly intelligent woman, first of all. And secondly, the right and the left hemispheres of your brain need to be connected. What I feel inside you is just kind of like scattered energy. It's going here and there, and part of it is stress. But
Mhm.
part of it is that belief system that you can't use the left side of the brain. And
Uh-huh.
I want to really encourage you that that's a lie,
Uh-huh.
that you've been told, and maybe you continue telling yourself. And I know Lorelai is an expert in, is it body gymnastics, Lorelai? But you
That's
know,
great. Yeah, I call it body psychology. Go ahead.
psychology, sorry. But it's just, it is really simple to do. And, you know, it's just crossing over, grab your earlobes. You can cross your legs as you're standing so that, and there are exercises that you do to the left and the right to activate both sides of the brain.
Uh-huh.
I heard really clearly that there is PUA money for you. I applied for PUA in mid-March, and I finally got a check in October, the middle of October, before I got a check. But then I got checks for all the weeks. So what it is there's been some disconnect, I think, in doing that, and I'm not telling you that you should go back and do that stressful thing unless you want to,
Mhm. Mhm.
but try some neuro, you know, mind body movements, neurobics, where you're moving and moving your body, and you know, twisting from side to side and touching elbows to knees and foot to hand, so that you're stimulating both sides of the brain before you do that. That's really important, and getting that stress under control is critical for you, because it's been a long time that you've been under this stress, and I hear that there's some important critical things. If you don't get that under control, it it, it could lead to serious illness. So you
Oh,
need
with
to
the
really,
stress, you mean?
yeah, you need to really, stress is the number one reasons why we get ill. And
Mhm.
so really dealing with that, and giving yourself grace and loving yourself and giving yourself what you need is really important. So if you feel you need to let go of PUA, let it go, girl. Don't go into the stress anymore. So that's my 2 cents.
Sandra, I'd also like to ask you just one sentence that you said to somebody else, and I didn't quite get it. But every morning, I got the first one, I am more than I think I am. And then you told that the other woman something like, I am open to connecting with
Right.
my higher self, is it?
Well, there are two things. There are three parts to the prayer. So it's first, I am more than I think I am. You know, with our brain programming, I am more than I know I am, where we've embodied our limitations into our heart. It's letting go of those limitations from our heart, from our emotions. And then I am open. How does it go? I am open to assistance from the universe to find my highest and best self. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So every morning you're getting up and affirming that there's a whole heck of a lot more possibilities out there than you have ever even dreamed of. And it's simply a matter of really opening 100% from a place of love and gratitude that will attract it.
Great, thank you.
Kara, go ahead.
Coral,
Hi.
nice to meet you.
Nice to
I'm curious if walking down memory lane, if you can think of any major events in your life that took place around 2005, or any new cycles that started at that time.
2004 was a big one.
2004, okay.
2004 was a big one, yeah. I took on a behavior class for like 7 months, really highly traumatized kids, in my opinion. And then that summer, I went to summer camp and fell madly in love with somebody that was polyamorous, and I'm not. And and I was finishing up a paper that I was doing for a graduate class. So yeah, it was a pretty big year.
Pretty full time. Was there anything with your brother that came up around that time, 2004, 2005, or?
Not that I recall, although there probably was, because we got along fine when we were young, like when I was in my 20s and even into my 30s, we got along okay. So I think something may have happened for him around that time.
Right.
Because I think something very stressful happened for him, and I'm not quite sure what it was, but could have been, it could have been job related.
Sure. And another question about timing, 2012, was there any significant change points in 2012 for you?
Well, there was in 2009 or 10, there was a breakup of a relationship, but 2012, I think I was just kind of recovering from the breakup.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm kind of just catching it right off, or just a little bit off. I didn't get into the real nuances of the timing, but what I see is like 2005. So this would be coming on the heels of a lot of learning, it sounds like, from that difficult classroom and the relationship that wasn't what you wanted. The way I saw 2005, this was your time of your Saturn return. This is a time where we're kind of claiming who we are, claiming our authority in some way. So we're not kind of, that relationship, I don't want to do things that way, right? This is who I am. This is
right.
How I want to be. Were you getting any new inclinations around job or something else that you wanted to do with your time and energy then?
In 2000,
back in 2004-5.
Probably was. Well, I'd given up the master's program at that point, and so I wonder if that could have been when I was trying to start an alternative school with Denise. She was on here tonight with Denise and another friend of ours. We tried to start an alternative school. That could have been about then.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, part of I'm just asking, and maybe it might take too long, in the format that we're in, but you're kind of at a, I look at cycles, right? Where cosmic cycles are just like seasons, like fall, winter, all of that. And so the season that you're in, the theme of it kind of activated then in 2004, 2005. And so I was kind of trying to get a sense of it to get a better understanding of some of what's happening now. But generally, the part of the season you're in right now often puts us up against odds with another authority figure of some kind. And so I was kind of seeing your brother as this person. So I was kind of trying to figure out, is there, where did the storyline start, so I can understand more about this time frame. But it is a common time where you're kind of met with an opposing force, an opposing figure, that has their own way of wanting to do something, or they're challenging your authority in some way. And we have the opportunity at that time to to rise up to, whoever it is that we are, or whoever we're trying to become, and be able to assert our authority in some way. So anyway, I don't know, you might have to do some more digging and thinking about some of the those past dates I was mentioning and see if they weave into that a little bit more. But it's also, there's also this kind of change point in terms of using your energy and career, and if you want to do something else with your teaching skills, that comes through this time as well. So interesting how that seed of a alternative, sounds like alternative education that you were kind of working on with your friend, the seed of that started there. So I'm kind of wondering if that's going to come back around, or something that you learned from then that's going to kind of help fuel whatever comes next.
I know I talk lately about my inner 2-year-old. I have resistance, even to the part of myself that is like, there's this amazing person that does the spirituality of NVC, and it's like normally I would love to do that, but it's like I don't want anything from anybody. It's like I want to like follow my own star or something. It's like he's amazing, but it's like I find myself, kind of objecting to some of the things he says, and I think it's probably more me than it is him. But yeah. There's an inner 2-year-old that says, it's my way. I don't want to do it your way.
Yeah, well, and I think this time period is figuring out, what does that 2-year-old want, or
Yeah.
whatever age she is inside, right? Like, and know that you're going to be tested in that, so that you can stand in it more firmly moving forward. And it is going to be, it's going to be a restless season. I mean, you've got a few months of having some really unstable, unpredictable energy that's going to be affecting you, or that has been affecting you, in clearly a big way.
But inside or inside?
But it's going to be lifting. I mean, you just, by the middle of the year, I mean, and if not a bit before then, a lot of that energy is going to be lifting and clearing, and you're going to be able to see things a bit more clearly.
Yeah. Is that energy from the outside or the inside?
That's just cosmic timing. That's just some, little gifts of restlessness and frustration that are sent to help us figure out how we want to be in the world, how we want to show up.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. So just a couple things, like Sandra was saying about body psychology. I know you've been here in the past too. You're wearing a turtleneck right now, and you were pulling at your neck when you were answering some of the questions, pulling at the neck of your shirt. And I just think expression and listening to yourself is really important. So it may be that there's, just like you were talking about, like you're not wanting to follow these kinds of things, like you want to know the thing that's yours. And so letting yourself vocalize that more, letting yourself say that more to people, to situations, seems really important. And I get now that PUA is the Oregon version of the unemployment stuff. And I feel like you have an intuition about the order in which you filed things, that you did the report and then you did the application. And there might be something that's really there. Like if you really think that you deserve money, like everything lined up and what happened with your employment and things like that, I would keep following this, but do it in a way that's easy and get support that's really helpful. So I know it can be hard to get in, but there are people that are in the unemployment system that have helped people that I know have had trouble where they've gotten rejected when they shouldn't have gotten rejected. And I just think asking for help and getting that help, and in particular, since you filed them in an unusual order, I would contact people and ask about that. And I know, like on the phone and all that, it's finding ways to do that really is easy for you. So it might be like you're outside. I know it's cold right now, but like there might be some way that you're outside or by the window and you have it on, not right up against your ear. And but yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm so glad that you're out of the living situation with a roommate. I mean, that
so am I.
So good.
Could I share on piggyback on that, Lorelei, for a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
That same oppositional energy from your brother is kind of the same with the government, of like the trying to push on you and get you to say, this is what I need, this is what I want, right? There's it's the same dynamic of asserting your authority. So I just wanted to, if that wasn't already obvious, I wanted to tie that back together.
Yeah, and you might want to experiment with literally just not wearing turtlenecks and wear something where you can temporarily have it on and take it off and give yourself as much space as you want as a way of really honoring your throat and the main place of expression.
Oh, right, right.
You're doing great for 73, by the way. I had no idea, like all the times you've been here, that you're 73. So
Oh, thank
you're
you.
really great in
That's
all the
good
joys. Yeah.
feedback.
So honor your throat.
Yes.
Honor your voice.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, great. Thank you everyone for waiting so long. We've got one more question. So yeah, Laurel, thanks so much for participating. All right, Martha,
Thank
you are up. Martha.
I'm trying. Here we go.
All right, great.
Hi. Well, my question has more to do with, for many years, I've been wanting to search for like a type of modality in the spirituality and esoteric. I consider myself a healer, but I haven't honed in on what it is that I am supposed to be doing. I tend to be a procrastinator, and also I want to know about too many things at the same time: astrology, tarot, X and Y and Z and the whole thing. But I don't, like I did Reiki, a Reiki course, then I did like a soul coaching, and I just want to see what my path would be on that.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Yeah, I'm taking notes on here too. So we've got all this. I just
Martha, are you certified through Denise Lynn, the soul coaching?
Yes.
Program? I am too. Very cool.
Hi.
Hello, soul sisters.
Well, so part of what occurs to me is, let me get your face back up here so I can see you. You're very extroverted. So I think that you connect really deeply with people. So you might have sage and both sage and priestess and my talents. So sage is about community, communication, playfulness, and fun. It's the typical extrovert. So like the swirling energy of people together. So voice, communication and patterns, noticing patterns in people. And working with groups. I know right now COVID is a little harder, but working with groups. And then priestess is about emotions. It's about inspiration, vision, passion, motivation. It can be wild waves of emotions. But so they're both group energies. So really connecting with the group and facilitating the flow of a group. And you only want to be in a group when they want to go deep. That's the priest part with the sage. That's my sense. But then also, I wonder that you might actually have artisan and not scholar. So you've studied tons of things, but my sense is that you feel more pressure to study them from growing up, from childhood, from someone else. Like you're part of why I wonder none of these things have like synced up for you is that you really are wanting to do your own way and there's something that you're inventing rather than doing what someone is teaching you.
I grew up in a very Catholic home, so everything was
and very so not only Catholic, but also like they really valued school and the educational system, and you had to study and you had to get everything right. And yeah, see, that's why I think that your desire to study with all kinds of people comes from that and comes from your family. It's not so much from your heart. My sense is there's something unique that wants to come through you, and it's something that's very playful with lots of people. Like, for example, like I don't remember what it's called. There's one in Portland, but there's like improvisational comedy that's about like going deep and really helping people go deep and open things emotionally. Like that's much more your flavor. Or I see like what look like scarves in your background, just the chair you're on and the wall and the scarves and like your clothing and like all this color. So color.
Yeah, I have a lot of color.
Yeah,
I have a lot of color.
No, but you're like this brightness and like, so studying different people and having to learn a way and follow a way, to me, that's not actually your way. That's why none of those have worked. That's why they don't stick. Yeah, so you somehow thinking the answer's out there, and I feel like the answer is inside, and you like you might easily channel, right? So artisan explores the edges of existence and pulls things in, and sage about communication. And there might be lots of, just like Susie has lots of different, connects with lots of different, I don't know what to say, but lots of teachers and guides. And, but yours is, you've got an earthy real thing too on this plane. And so it's really playing with people physically. And that's why I mentioned improv. It just, but it's a very deep flavor of improv. I'll go, there's a group.
Actually, as a child, I wanted to be an actress.
Yeah, see, I totally think that that's more like, yeah. So I'll go look up the group in Portland just so you know who they are. Where do you live?
New Jersey.
You're in New Jersey? Yeah. So I'll look up what it is so I can find it, and then I'll see if there's anything like that in New Jersey. So I'm sure, yeah, Susie's got something to share. Let Susie go and I'll go do research.
Well, first, Martha, as soon as you said you grew up Catholic, that sets off my alarms because that's my background. I left the church like when I was 23 and I was atheist for a while, very lonely because I hear things and then I'm agnostic and then here I am today. So do you feel that your brand of Catholicism has shut you down in any way?
Yes.
Okay. I went and as I just explained with my journey, it took me a while to break that, but then I still talk to my sister who says that her Catholicism has taught her to stop and think and be compassionate. So as Lorelai's talking, she's saying you're pulling in all of these different things. I can see you definitely create or call in a different kind of healing that is specifically you. You take all of these things that you have learned, and then you can throw in more stuff. I feel that a lot of healers do that. For the sake of this sort of event, we try to narrow it down, but I know that we all do all kinds of different things. I channel, I do crystals, I do Reiki, I do past life stuff, and it's like on and on and on. And that's what you've got that ability to do. Is to pull on all of these, like the Mary Poppins bag. You just, oh, look, here's another skill, here's another talent. And finding that environment in which you can do that. These sort of events are great for it. I'm now curious to know about the improv stuff. But I think you have that ability, and I understand that focus is kind of hard to get that laser like focus, but you can follow the energy. Today I want to learn about a crystal. Today I want to learn about a card, and you get to play because you will never, I don't know if you'll ever find a tarot reader that has one deck of cards.
Yeah, well.
So you'll get to play with it and see what works for you at that moment. That's part of that improv thing, is being in the moment and saying yes. I know these are basic rules of improv. Stay in the moment and say yes. And guess is the best answer. If it's supposed to work out, it will. So I wish you well. Have fun with it and just start exploring. You're going to find yourself going down some rabbit holes, but these are skills that you'll be able to use at some point. And thank you for staying up late with us in New Jersey. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So where in New Jersey are you?
Bloomfield.
Could you say it again?
I see Montclair. Bloomfield.
Broomfield? Okay. Yeah.
So I saw that you put something about Montclair there, somebody.
Oh, yeah. So someone's asking about Montclair and Lunatic Fringe. And the thing I'm talking about is called Playback Theater. So I'll go look and see what's near you. I know Sandra's got something too. So yeah. Go ahead, Sandra.
Okay.
Yeah, everything that Lorelai said and Susie said was what I was going to say also. I really see that you're going to create your own healing system based on all of the studying and the different modalities that you've learned, which is what happened for me also. I'm a Gemini. I love learning, I love studying, I love all of that. And each one of those, for a while, I thought, oh my gosh, I learned all these things. I'm not using any of them forever, and now I'm using all of them all together. And so I really see you channeling something unique that is to you. And I just want to say that I don't even recall who said this, but there was a spiritual mentor sometime recently in the past 10, 12 years who said the best people who are healers and spiritually gifted people do not follow all of the rules and all of the obligations of the different modalities. They find their own way and put their own stamp on it. Those are the truly gifted ones that have something extra to give people. When I was an astrologer, I found that I just started with channel. I would sit down with somebody that have the charts. I'd know what I was going to say, this, and then I'd just start channeling. And so I stopped doing astrology because I was just channeling all the time and I didn't need to do the astrology to channel. So, and it was the same with tarot. I just would sit down, the cards were there, and I'd start to talk like I'm supposed to about the meaning of this and that. And then I'd just start channeling past lives and guides and all kinds of things. And I see something like that in your future for you, where you find your own unique gift to share with others. And all of these things you studied are not lost. They are really powerful and fodder for where you're going to go.
Thank you.
Great. And by the way, so cultureconnectiontheater.org is in your city and they have playback theater. So there's an example of one. There's a link in the chat, and Kara has got something for you.
Hello, soul coaching sister Martha.
Hi.
All right. Yes, I see why you love learning and have explored so many things. And it's similar to, I feel a kinship with you because you also brought in so much knowledge with you, but it was like, it's not enough. You came into the world with you probably did practice astrology in past lives and so many other healing modalities, but you're like, but I need to learn more before I'm ready to do my thing. So I really connect with that because I dabbled in everything. I got to learn it all. And then it's like you just cram so much in so that you can, your own system, your own thing can come out of all the different things you've kind of crammed in and experienced and learned. And I'll just give you a few thoughts that I have when I look at your chart of this thing that you're creating. And you are creating the system of healing. That seems very clear to me. To me, it involves creativity and movement. I'm seeing you have an incredibly creative soul. Incredibly. You're making a little frowny face at me. You're like,
Well,
what?
I'm a preschool teacher right now, so like, and I love yoga, and I'll teach the kids yoga just from me making it up, and
So you're kind of in your element already, play and creativity and movement. Okay, yeah. Is it satisfying? Is that what you want to still be doing?
It is, but it's not what I want to. I feel I have so much more to give.
Yeah, I think so too. And I kept saying the phrase cosmic hot seat tonight. You also are in the cosmic hot seat, and it's your Mars, your entrepreneurial planet, that's getting jostled up. It's that, and Mars is how we use our energy, right? So that kind of possibly reshifting how we want to use it. And of course, it's going to make you feel pretty hot under the collar. And you already have a really hot Mars because it's in Scorpio and can move very powerfully through the world. So anyway, I feel like it's stirring things up, saying, all right, how are you going to use this immense power that you have with this Mars Scorpio in creating this system? I really do. To me, it involves movement, it involves travel, it involves healing through artistry. I see you leading groups. I don't know. And there are things like that, but yours is different. It's not, I don't know, it's different. But you have your North Node. I don't know how well you know astrology in this life. Yeah, but your North Node, I don't know if you work with asteroids, is with the asteroid Hygieia. And then there's several other healing aspects in your chart, but I'm looking at this going, wow, they're so close together. And they're in the first part of Aries. Aries is what's the word I'm looking for? It's it's a cardinal sign, but it's that I must make something of my own. I must put something out into the world. I must cut my own path. It must come from me. And to have your North Node there of like, this is what I'm being called to. I'm being called to create something of my own that comes from me, that I've cut my own path with, and it's there with the healing asteroid Hygieia is especially of note. And it's getting activated because this Mars of yours is getting activated, and they're in Aries, so they're all kind of tied together. So I'm like, okay, it's time, and you're going to have a lot of opportunity, in the coming months to get a little flustered and get frustrated and go, oh, I want to be doing something different. And I just keep leaning into that because something really cool is going to come out of it.
Thank you.
That's great. I love what everyone else is saying. And so it sounds like the things that you do with kids are the things that you easily could be doing with adults. Like you happen to be doing it with kids now, and kids are open and free. And so they go with you. And it just sounds like there are probably a lot of adults that really want this also. And so you are a venue for this to happen. You are a place where adults can like get big and unleash their energy. So like, for example, if Laurel, who we just answered earlier, if Laurel played with you for an hour, like what would be possible in Laurel's life? Like if she let herself really play. Like that's the kind of, to me, like you have the capacity to open that up for people. And so when you're together physically with people, just all the colors and the fabrics, it just seems like so much would be alive for people. And it's like easy for you to create that way.
And can I say something here too? So I have another friend and client who is an artist, a professional artist, but she's also started teaching kids classes, and she's doing them over Zoom during the pandemic. And I was telling her, I said, this is so cool. She told me all the different things she's doing with kids, and they have dance breaks, and they got, on Zoom, and they have all these fun things they do. And I was like, I think adults would really like this. I would really like this. This sounds really fun. And she's like, well, I know I want to do it for adults, but it feels kind of more scary because it's easier to do it with the kids, right? Because nobody you.
What sometimes I have thought that, like maybe like the parents themselves need something.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because, they need a little more guidance with the children and to be able to, I don't know, like parent coaching or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Those are things I have.
I just think coaching is almost like too heavy a word for you though. You need words that are like bright and shiny and like big and like big curves of color. Like
exactly. Well, this client friend of mine, she listened to me and she put together her first adult class. It was yesterday. And I took it, and a bunch of other people took it, and she did it just like the way she did the kids' classes, but the project was more, elevated, and it was so much fun. So I just offer that in case making that leap feels scary. She actually, she didn't have to bring in any new skills really to transfer it to do the.
Yeah, there's I can't remember what it's called now. Turning the Wheel, I think is what it's called. It's based in Boulder, Colorado, and it's used with kids and with adults, and it's about all kinds of physical play that we're just not used to doing. So like all kinds of like patty cage kind of thing, but it's not. It's very physically active and twisting and turning and improvisational in the moment. And so there's a rhythm and like some patterns of the kinds of things, but it's so active, and it's like helping adults and kids, but like learning to just get in touch with their response time and just moving with what's there, not holding back and having to think things through. It just seems like you're so naturally good at those kinds of things.
Yeah. So. And it's funny, the family piece is highlighted now. I'm thinking of your chart and going, oh yeah, very cool. Maybe it's all together. Maybe the whole family gets together. You have some interesting, I don't know, there's lots of ways you can do it, but.
And you could probably manage the energy of like giving adults some guidance and the kids some guidance, and they're all kind of going. Like you could do that.
Okay, thank you. Very helpful.
And, Karen, I don't know if there's contact info for that friend that's doing that. It might be helpful to connect Martha and her together.
Oh, yeah, if
Martha, her info.
You can send me your contact info, and then I'll reach out to her and I can get you connected.
Yeah, and I might have email, so I can grab that from stuff. I know, and Amanda's going to get images to people too.
Do I just put my email on here?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and send it. Great.
I'll message.
All right, sweet. Well, I know we've had a wild, crazy night with all kinds of questions. Thank you, practitioners, those of you that stayed late.
Thank you so much for staying for me.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you, Martha, for waiting till the end. So I'm putting in the chat again, we have a whole bunch of upcoming events. So we have many more panels and many more opportunities to ask questions. And we've got fairs coming up, and we do an intuitive panel in the beginning. So there's like a mini version of what we do tonight. If you have not already filled out the form with feedback, if you give us your contact info, you get entered into a drawing for a free 30-minute session with one of us of your choice. I know one of you really wish you'd be able to ask a question, so maybe enter the drawing, maybe you'll get the free session. All right, great. And so the practitioners that are left, please go ahead and share your contact info in the just in the video, so anyone watching the video can get in touch with you, and I'll share about anyone else that's not here. Yeah, so go ahead, the three of you, if you want to share, just go ahead and jump in. Just remind everyone who you are and what you do and how people can get in touch with you. Susie, you're muted. If you were wanting
Okay, well, Kara was on mic and I didn't know if she wanted
Oh,
to
sorry, I
jump in.
was still on mic earlier. Go ahead.
Okay. So I'm Susie Parker Goen with Blue Lightning Healing. My website is www.bluelightninghealing.com. I've got a Facebook page. I also have a podcast on 10 different platforms called Blue Lightning Healing Meditations. I've also on YouTube, and you can contact me at Susie, S-U-S-Y, at bluelightninghealing.com. Thanks for such an awesome night.
Thanks, Susie. All right. Yeah, Sandra and Kara.
Yeah, this was super fun, everyone. Thanks for being here. I'm Kara James. My website is karajames.com. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook, Kara James Astrology or Astrologer, one of those. It's pretty easy to find me. And I do have a podcast I forgot to mention earlier. And I talk astrology, but I make it accessible, and half the time I'm talking about spirituality and other types of things. So anyway, it's been a fun thing to explore recently. And yeah, I work with clients full time and from Portland, Oregon. Thanks.
I'm Sandra Jeffs, and my website is sandrajeffs.com, and I do a lot with feng shui consults. I have a ton of feng shui items, alignments. I've stopped calling them cures. I call them alignments now because that's really what they are. I do theta healing and soma breath work. And I've recently combined everything into Soul Essence Awakening. So it's very holistic with looking at your environment, the home you live in, the ground, the clothes you wear, the beliefs that you have, etc. And so that's me, sandrajeffs.com. Thanks.
Thanks, that's great. And Kara, I did not hear, did you give everyone your website and everything? Maybe you did. Just want to make sure that you do.
I think I did, and I just popped it in the chat if anyone wants to hear, and you can link to my podcast from there too.
That's great. Yeah, I just put everything in the chat too. And so I'm Lorelei Shimayo. You can learn more about me and my intuitive eye readings at loreleishimayo.com. That's LAURELISHIMAYO. We have several other practitioners that are not with us now that were here earlier. We had Amanda Root doing Coyote Intuition, color, sound, and symbol readings. And she's at snowmoontarot.com. So SNOWMOONTAROT.com. And she's at snowmoontarot8@gmail.com. And then Jamie Elasha, the Shift Witch, she is at theshiftwitch.com and Moonwitch at theshiftwitch.com. And Satora Oswald, Energy Healing and Intuitive Guidance with Ascended Masters and Angels, the Tarot Approach to Trauma Resolution. She is at freesatora@gmail.com. That's FREESATORA@gmail.com. And the rest of us are here. So thank you so much, everyone. You can learn more about our upcoming events at MeWeFairs.com. For example, on Wednesday, January 6th, we have another panel on mediumship, connecting with lost loved ones. On January 9, we've got a fair coming up in the evening. Monday, January 11, we've got another panel on Heal Your Inner Child. Saturday, January 6, we've got a panel on spiritual bypassing. Friday, January 22, we have a panel on energetic and channeling divination. Saturday, January 30, we have a panel on love. And then Friday, February 12, we have another panel on love. So lots going on. We look forward to being with you again. Thank you so much for being with us tonight and holding space and being here for everyone's questions. Thanks for everyone that asked. Great supporting us to be here. Bye.
Thank you.
Practitioners, if you want to hang out a few more minutes,
Thank you.
Or you don't have to.